ITHF Library Provo, Utah / AJO plus the hymns of Zoroaster / the Gathas / his is the English words only, Dishon Rice $1,00 Loth $1.50 very low clubbing and entity rates by respondents with the publishers. After reading these hymns you will want the complete handbook with transliterated text, translation, outlines, explanations, grammar dictionary and significance. Price $2 cloth $3 very low clubbing rates is not merely a translation, but an epical discovery that Zarathustra. Sections are not a chaotic sequence but paralleled graphes, one personal, and one priestly. These are printed on opposite pages. By Kenneth Sylvan Lawnful Guthrie M., Harvard and Sewanee, Ph.D., Tulane and Columbia, M.D., Pennsylvania, D.D., Indianapolis. Professor in Extension, University of the South, Sewanee, restorer of Zoroaster, Pythagoras, Numneus, Plotinus, and Proclus. Author of Votive Garlands, The Reuniting Pilgrimage, Temple Gates Ajar, and Temple Gates Open. Lotonist Press, 1177, Warburton Avenue and Yonkers, NY. At the end of the book will be found more extended notices of the following works by the same author: of Communion with God, Life, Times, and Philosophy of Plotinos, The Message of Philo-Judaeus Numneus of Apamea, Works, Life and Teachings, the Gathas, or Hymns of Zoroaster, in English the Greek T.J. Elkdim's Prague / or, The Picture, by Kebes, A Garland of Fancies, A Garland of Aspirations, Friendship Hymns to the Universal Divinity Latinus, Teak. Focus of Greece ANJTICTA / NSR of Theology is now accessible in the Manelbsant Complete Guthrie ONB volume translation at the net bargain price of %6.25, post-paid, to EBFIA lost only TU the present remainder dollar exhausted, IAT are the special merits of the Guthrie Plotinus 1:1. It is the only complete one, and will always be the cheapest. It is the famous edition of which Stephen McKenna said, "One congratulate you, you have gotten ahead of me *2. It is the best for the student, as it has a 60-page concordance, and has the first explanation of Platonic philosophy's origin, development, and destiny. Only Dr. Guthrie could do this, because it was he who dug out Plotinus's master Numneus. Also, his version is representative of contemporary language and ideas, and is not merely turning puzzles into modem dialect. 3. It is the best for him who wishes to understand Plotinus, because it is the only edition that unscrambles, chronologically, Plotinus's 4 progressive stages of development from Pornhuri's frightful hodgepodge of 9 medleys. Other translators who perpetuate this disorder after Dr. Guthrie's discovery seem to be keeping the subject hazy purposely, not for the reader's benefit. 4. It is the most faithful version, because Dr. Guthrie's sole object was to focus the labors of the best students, J. Marsilius Ficinus, Mueller, Drews, Bulliet, Chainet, Toffler, and others, but one only thing he does claim, that he has not knowingly left any obscurity. Otherwise he glories in the subservience to all the best that had been done before him, and for himself he claims nothing but the unappreciated production of what nobody else would do. And the critical discovery of Plotinus's progress. To be original is to be mistaken and misleading. 8. Do you need an introduction to this Plotinus? Then send for the free booklet Names to Conjure with, which explains why he I interest to all religious people, also why Proclus, now accessible in Master R form at $3*00 is of permanent, universal importance, and why you need Ragar as a sourcebook and library, $3. Also Numenius at $2. Platonist Press, Teocalli, 1177, Warburton Avenue North Yonkers, NY, USA Library edition of uniform volumes, at $1 each by Kenneth Sylvan Guthrie Temple Gates Ajar, or Introductory Religious Instructions, with compulting corroborative outlines of all other great Kenneth Guthrie religious works. IPAGA and Bible, or Angel Belief as Inheritance from Greco-Romans. What Became of Kitchener, Novel of Faith, and 6 educational playlets. Rosicrucian Mysteries, playlets on original Rosicrucian documents. Shakespearean Mysteries, Plavolts. Hamlet, Tempest, MSN Dream. Popular Illustrated History of Neoplatonism, Comprehensive, Details. Approaches to the Mysteries of All Nations, Complete Outline. By Thomas Kiptervey JTEMPLE Gates Opened, Experiences, Conservation, Temple Travel. Temple Playlets and Rituals for Personal Achievement. Discoveries and Insights in Theology, Literature, and Character Study. Character Study Manual, Zodiac's Origin, Meaning and Results. Occult Stories, Apollonius of Tyana, Hurrah for God, Reuniting Pilgrimage. Books by Kenneth Sylvan Guthrie. Romance of Centuries, An Utopia of AD 2025. $2 ITIVE Garlands, Collected Poems, with frontispiece in gift form. 2.W Ephraik Mysteries, Restored and Modernized, with exercises, illustrated. Gelic Mysteries, 9 Angel Degrees of Initiation, illustrated. Ritual Message of Literature, First Textbook of Comp Literature. 3 Gressive Complete Education, Marriage as /Chur's Problems, How to Solve Them. Historical Supreme Mediate School. Summary 3.003.UU 2.0 U 1.50 L.5 U Fiddy BMS. This zoned concentric city has charaled publishers, newspapers, clergymen, publicists, lawyers and cooperative frography Yekid Ev R/J/Hefel enjoy and Sipathons in future cities. Household reform, marriage reform, dress reform. The coming world capital, worldwide settlement of democracy, reform /in business.art/VJ teaching, etc. CI topic of inter ESTTHI 3 bargain priced 40 QPJA Ofenchersfinden LAUNF at Guthrie. These are present Ramblino disorder Poundia accretions. Would you saddle him on the FUTURE? NE // RISI situations, and Dr. Kenneth Guthrie's Remedies Board of Education's examiner had just turned down the blushulnf Miss Teacher 8 * weepinf. She walled. Is there no hope at all for me? Oh yes. Purred he. Try a flane next hat could I study in the meanwhile? Or Guthrie's teachers * problems, i.e. how to solve $1.25 R value and limits of the history of education * and the mother tongue few method China modern Lanoisize * each 30 cents. Will that pass me? Really? Miss, you are too pretsach school get his progressive complete, 1.25. And if I pass examination on it? Education, or marriage as the then I will marry you. Thanks, Supreme Kinseral School became a pessimist and optimist. The theological student had just beer. Prep. I thesis by cribbing the wittiest passages from Discoveries in Suits. Essays Theoia. Iterary, and of character study, $. Nettled at the undeserved praise, he blushed at the handedness of his relulon. So at midnight he went to the bishop's study, and said Nat he leave the church because he was honest. Honorant. You mean, * corrected the advisor, do first-hand reading for yourself. That's where the trouble lies, bellowed the martyr. / Caw hunt nuscripts unnecessary nowadays, soothed the blueshop * J know of TF wizard who can sum your room for conference all the greatest but nest-lect philosophers of antiquity, shall him send them to you? Oh yes, please / tfasp the thief. All my life I have dreamed of sublime leaders of the race, but who were inaccessible. * Uri well, the wizard shall send you 3 ter teacher of purity and Antfels. $3, Pythagoras, the Satphet. And philosopher. $3, Numeniag Iridal Brelflanelst. $2, Pyotinus. Greek Komlner $12 CL, $9 pp, Proclus. Universal Hler T $3, Zoroaster translation only. $1.25, Apollonius of Tyana, Light. $1, Plotinus, Outline Lilo Jane Diaz, Outline. $2 * stop. If they came all at once, it would be tragic. Is there no guide his? Write for a free copy of Names to Conjure with, which will open the whole subject asterisk is what occurredeth Masonic Club after last ni pound IBT asterisk s lod pound, e meetings aster was entered nelmed the just initiated candidate who asked him, where could / read up on a 9 and historic origins of initiations such as ours? Well, said the master, the best book is Agan Bible, an anthology of the soul and its helpers, gathered from ethnic sources. Hat sounds good, SL6 the novice. But I would like to see the original rituals. You can explalo master. By reading 5J Floaternized L8 Loraic Mysteries. Dramatic sketches of Rick initiation, $3. But are the Christians entirely excluded? No. Laws ahead. The master, ver exclusion their island. Is of their own Mochlnf. Could, but are any Christian mysteries atches certainly, and Tfutanisi get the angelic mysteries of the 9 heavens, a dromedary initiation, $3. But how do you advise all this, when you yourself are a Rosicrucian? Ed the persistent candidate. I was only TRYLNTF to please you, winked the master. I might prefer the Rosicrucian mysteries, $1, a dramatization of the original documents asterisk am a modern man. Sobbed the querulous candidate. Nothln is easier asterisk comforted the modern master. Asterisk you need only seat the mysteries. $1, a Lurlni and Thrulna mystical etsof experiential Belijun, also the Halorlessly Experian mysteries, $1. Thanks. Inarola s ghost met Giordano Bruno sta thrilling from the tires aoni are up. Friend asterisk consoled he, you are now safe from persecution asterisk perhaps, but I am homo no friend. Look, as he waved his hand, there appeared a mystering temple. What's wielding? Tfasped Bruno. Your home, asterisk comforted Savonarola. But the door is locked, and to get a look in. IRS your own fault asterisk rebuked the Florentine, DLDN asterisk tu while on earth rimple gates ajar, $1. But a look in is not enough, I would want my whole body in. Well, I shall send for a copy of Temple Oates opened $1 asterisk but in the meanwhile. ID Bruno. Lend you prayers, visions and aspirations, $2 asterisk please, I don't want do 9 to aspire, I want to something. Then I will lend you regeneration the gate, AP, and special methods, $2 ECB. $5 all Chlursi asterisk oh thank you. Then I wow to lose any time. Fundamentalist modernist fracas, in a recent Rawl Road wreck near Albany the MOSTYBLOT revelation with I catch 'em. Of Saint Charksem the MLLL pond for hours lay walting the renowned fundamentalist Reverend U. Cheatham. Fellow MLSSRY for rescue, Cheek broke down the bar orthodoxy, and I catch 'em said. My injuries are due to overfascination while reading T stories entitled Harali for God, $1. My fatuous friend asterisk in shocked tones retorted happened it Fthias Oiri at Cheatham. You better sober up to Kit Kleiner, 51, by Exchainalny. Books, whose hypnotic charm for the false strengthen immobilized me during Cldent asterisk conversation revealed they were both about to be ousted. And a flash of genius them exchange, but this flop implied 2 re-educations, betraying secret tricks of the craft. Cheatham babbled. To be a fundamentalist all you need to do is to keep people's track asterisk v anything absorbing, such as Romance of 2 Centuries, $2. Reuniting Pilulmatfk. Tories for why you young really people, $1.25, eerie votive garlands. $3, and then you can fulminate want to be a churchman, $1. 25. Thanks. Asterisk chortled I catch 'em. Now and how el any tav blutield leertoihuoftog wuabudril du, nonsov $1c.nhc2c5 air. Spiahirs maneonim saridi $acr1 san. Oinsgatem 6b. Kemzi hasirs guru egmp wandriktafs. Tio henialiamensaftsa hatirprum negud $alrunti 2wh5 boi. Of leisure dicycroi wabrubsithlnoi genu fms rados nemg, spiritual mtsayu of el creature $2.50. If's convenient. Batshuden 1 seems so awarly? Transcribe of, the twast only communion with God, 50 CTS, point where fundamentalist and of the pre-sense modernist agreed, let OTSQ, pre-er $1.25. On TNETTONIST Press. TOKLIUI 17Z Warburton Ave * no * Jankris. NY Schwimmt Arkun on El Kuksik May JTAU Harvard and Sebne, PKD, Columbia and Tulane, MDI Pennsylvania, / Vivar HTV of the SMTH. Sewanee. Address, Teokul, 1177 Warburton Avenue. North Yonkers, NY. It desirous of keeping informed of his latest achievements, send him $1 tour a yearly subscription to his inspirational bi-monthly magazine Good News for All. W height of Haroter W in Tfiat Dorbs, of Otun Ilpm, TLE, Flatfiag Akorbing to Bodf, copyright document, Trilje Reach JTLP, ANB Trilje Original, on parallel page oif, a new discovery in higher criticism, translated by Leni Typelban I Sudfari A.Mo Harvard, Ph.D. T. Tulane, M.D. Medico-Chirurgico Fla M.A. G. Du Professor in Extension, University of the Southley, Swain S. Copyright, J9J4, by Kenneth Sylvan Guthrie, all rights, including that of translation, reserved. TFI Comparativi Literature IJXTSIX 620 or OT Street, L, and 2 Clifton, JT4. All rights, including that of translation, reserved copyright, 1914, by Kenneth Sylvan Guthrie. The library NRIGHAP4 Ryoavo and Gudnai /Ersid Hegemony of the Gathas LSA Introduction * Fluid 1,2b Zarathustra S Education 7 I Zarathustra FL Discontent at Home Among the Magians 43.32. Zarathustra as Student with Vohumanist Cult 43.11b4 Vision 1. Fireglow of Retribution 43.413 Vision 2. Punishments are undeceivable 43.5,65,6 Vision 5. The sincere shall be supported 43.11,12 in. Zarathustra as Student with Ashaist Cult 7,8 Vision 4. Theophany of Asha 43.9,10,12,13 Vision 3. Wavering to be ended by support of Ashaists 43.7,88 to 11 Vision 6. Demand for help to execute God's judgments 43.13,14 18 to 22, 34.9,10 Vision 7. Armady aligns the parties 43.15,16 4. Zarathustra seeks immortality in vain, 33.6, 6,7, 33.6 He is rejected by Spentamanuist cult 44.17,18 v3-5,7,8,11,14-17, 34.12 to 15 Studies with Majdists 43.4, 44.1-16,19,20, 47.2, 50.6 Zarathustra's entrance into public life 9,10 I Creation of cattle, its choice of a master 51-7, 44.16 Capture of a Shaist cult, appointment as judge 44.6, 21-5 Capture of Vohumanist cult, dualism proclaimed 45.1-3, 49.3 I Zarathustra is afflicted with sickness, the metallic fire test 6,7, 32.7. 33.10, 12, 14 drives him to seek help in a vision 51.9 v wherein he receives the long-sought mystic word of 21, 32.5, 33.8, 9, 34-1, 11 health and immortality 45.4 to 11, 47.1, 48.1 I capture of Spentamanuist cult, coming of the Holy Ghost, 1,5. 31.7, 33.5, 43.8, 12, 16, 45.8, 46.17, 47. 1,2, 32.1, 2 vh. Zarathustra is accepted publicly d** establishment of Magian movement 3-16 I fight with the Devas 46.1-8, 48, 49-2. Zarathustra is worsted, and in despair drives the Magians into open agricultural country 46.9 to 13, 50, 51.1 to 15 Vishtaspa assumes leadership, praise for heroes 46.14 to 19, 51.16 to 22 for Jamaspa, induced by matrimonial alliance, joins the Magian movement 9 E-Life QF Zarathu E-Life CF Zarathustra according to the shorter, priestly document. A. Introduction. L. Congregational prayer for protection and instruction XXXIV Among the foremost, of thy worshippers, we offer to thee, see Ahura Mazda mindful Lord, through the mind of the Gosi mentality, 25XXXIV all the deeds, speeches and hymns 25 through which, deeds, speeches and hymns, 25 thou shalt bestow Amarita, immortality, Asha, justice Shithra, power, and Orvidit, health, 25 and we bear the praises of thy grateful people, with a bounteousness, such as would gratefully follow along the paths of Ash, justice, 2, even, into the outer realms, of the heavenly presence, of O, divinity, such as you, Ahura Mazda, Lord mindful. 26XXXIV-3 But O to thee, Ahura Mazda, Lord mindful, and to Asha, Jutais, we shall with reverence offer the oblation 26I, that, you with Vohumana, good disposition, may cause all substantial beings which are in the Shithra, realm, to matun, into perfection be, to seeing that the perfecting of the beneficent man is at all time valuable in, the sight of, one like you. TTE Life QF Zarathustra E Life QF2 Zarathustra according to the longer, personal document A Introduction UCCESS to me, to you, and to whosoever will 301 May Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, who rules at will over all things, grant to, that, both enduringness and vitality, health and immortality, may come to thee, O believer. Of thee, Lord, do I desire this. 3 To me, grant me that I maintain my hold on Asha, just O Arzis. And do thou, Armati, love, grant me for riches, compensations, and the life of Vohumana, good disposition. 543 to 2 Yeah, Vohumana, good disposition, will give the best of all things to this Zarathustra, 306 according to his wish. He will give him the comfort of heaven. 7 O Mazda, mindful, through thy most bounteous mentality, spent a mania revealate all these blissful mysteries of Vohumana, good disposition, which thou givest through Asha, justice, 9 With all the joys that are long and vital on every day. 10. Tai Life QF Zarathustra B Zarathustra's education H Dear contented at home Amen, the Marians Thursiel O come hither to me you best, divinities, come here personally, O Mazda, mindful, 232 visibly, with Asha, justice, and Vohumana, good disposition, inform me how I may be heard before, M, or outside of, B, the Magians, and, for this purpose, 233 Let reverent services of worship be, performed, clearly and, manifestly among us. 23 ILAR student with the Vohumanist cult vision L the fire glow of retribution. XXXIVO we wish Mazda, Lord mindful, that thy fire, whose strength is Asha, justice, 26. May be a promised, swift M, powerful, clear, delightful FOI supporting the land or the people 26E but, that it may be, for the enemies a visible, suggestive and practical token of harm, 26 3E Life QF Zarathustra B Zarathustra's education idea contented at home among the Magians OIE, Zarathustra, who, like thee, Mazda, mindful, is faithful, well-informed, and bounteous, 315 Ho would teach us the just paths of profit namely, 12 Ho's of the good life, both, corporeal and mental, that lead to 13 Le real worlds where dwells, the Lord, Ahura, 14 I.e., Zarathustra, arrive to what is better than good. 1-2. I** student with the Vohumanist cult. Vision L the fire glow of retribution 43*4 order that I may receive the power of Vohumana 1, good disposition, 320 Ovold, in the, Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, recognize heroism and bounteousness, 1, through the hand in which thou boldest 17 Le compensation to be given to Druhist and Ashaist, 18 Id, 2, through the glow of thy, judgment, fire, whose vigor is Asha, justice. 9 Ihe life, Jf Zarathustra vision and punishments cannot be avoided even by deceit. Thirseal 13o in order to grant me support, thou wide glancing, divini show me, that, the incomparable, riches, O of thy realm, Ahura, Lord, are, the compensations of the Omana, good disposition, O bounteous Armady, love, instruct the spirits through as, justice. Tfe life qf Zarathu vision and punishments cannot he avoided even by deceit. 43.50 acknowledged thee, Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, as I the bounteous divinity when 321, at the beginning, I beheld thee at the birth of life 2 Quetzales I, when thou didst establish, proper, compensations for deeds and words, 23 bad, compensation, for the bad, and a good compensation for the good, 24 thy which is to occur, with skill, at the last crisis of creation, 125:43-60 which crisis come thou. Mazda, mindful, with thy spenta manu, bounteous mentality, 326 Itithshatra, power, Vohumana, good disposition, and Asha, justice, 7 Hru whose deeds are prospered the human estates 28 I or which Armady, love, formulates judgments 29, F, mindful, Mazda is understanding which no one ever deceives. 38 Tai life qf Zarathu rhtr. Vision v asterisk the sincere shall be supported asterisk xxxiv dash have you, enough, Shatra, power? Have you, enough O wealth? Ahura Mazda, Lord mindful, for the deed which I, urge, you, to do, namely, 23 with Asha, justice, and Vohumana, good disposition, to protect your poor? 26. Through, our preaching among, the Devik enemies, savages, ANR and doomed men, we will declare you to all foreigners. 27. XXXIV-O since you therefore actually have the above powers, Ahur, Mazda, Lord mindful, with Asha, justice, and Vohumanal good disposition, 27 thereof grant me as token thereof, a change for better now to this life, 27, so that I may the more approach you with greater joy and adoration 27, Tai life qf Zarathu rhtr and Vision v the sincere shall be supported. 43 JJO recognized thee. Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, as the bounteous, divinity, /hen, I was first instructed in your utterances, /va when with, good disposition, Vohumana, 351-52, some man, came around to me, and asked, will the doing of that which you have told me is the best, to do, 54 rouse trouble among men form. 55 4342 /nd at the same time, when thou toldst me to answer him, depend on Asha, justice, for support, 356 Irhan to me, Zarathustra, who was not disobedient. Thou utteredst the command, 57 F thou hadst better arouse, thy prophecy, before the coming 5-3 F's Asha, obedience, together with the rich Ashi, compensation, / and / io will distribute to both Asians for their profit contending parties 59 compens lo the life qf Zarathu rhtrdw3. As student with the Ashaist cult vision for theophany of Asha. XXXIV-, O Lord, listen to me who wish to ask thee about certain people. O are they faithful to thee, Ahura Mazda, Lord mindful, WHC though they know of Vohumana, good disp 27 I turn the difficulties of traditionally inherited doctrine unto their own advantage, by sophistries. 27. Oh, as for me, I know none other but you, Asha. Therefore protect us. 27 IXXXIV-8 With such specious deeds, under which lurk danger for many they are intimidating us, especially 27 me, who am the weaker, for, Benva, is strong with hate of th commands, O Mazda, mindful. 27J But those who think not of Asha, justice, they are surely distant from Vohumana, good disposition. 27 The life of Zarathustra and 2 IIL as student with the Ashaist cult vision 4. Thkofani of Asha. 43.90 Recognized the, Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, as the bounteous, divinity. 341 Hen, with, good disposition, Vohumana, some man, I came around to me, and asked, a question. 42 Oh his question, what cause dost thou intend to adopt? 7a, Zarathustra, answered, at each oblation of reverence brought into thy sacrificial fire, O Lord. 44 My 7 will, to the extent of ability, fix mind on Asha, justice. 45-43 to 10 Iut, O God, show me the Asha, justice, whom I invoke. 346, JJ/Iyazda speaks. In company with Armadi, love, and Asha, justice, I have come. 47 High, JDBRTTNHY question was as the question of powerful men. 49/Hen Some ruler insists on having his mighty powerful wish granted by thee. 575. Thou ask us what thou hast to ask us. 48-12 The light QF Zarathustra vision in. Wavering to be ended by supporting the Ashaist XXXL12, amidst such sublime issues, vulgar men who speak either false, or justly, the expert knower or the ignorant. One each, according to the fancy of his heart and mind, dares I raise his, impudent, voice I see where Armadi, love, counsel successively with the spirits WTJ yet are wavering. //XXXL.13 O Mazda, mindful, thou with Asha, justice, keepest a what with thy watchful gleaming eyes. 1. Over all these, men who ask, questions openly or furtive and 13 leaders. 2. Over all officials who, inflict the greatest penance for even I small transgression. 13 Vhi life QF Zarathustra. 13 Lon high asterisk wavering to be ended by supporting the Ashaists asterisk 43-7 O recognized the, Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, as the bounteous, divinity, through the answer with which I was inspired 331 Vhen, with, good disposition, Vohumana, some man, came around to me, and asked, 32 Ho art thou? To what divinity belongest thou? To with what, divine, token wilt thou appoint the day for questioning 34 About thy substance and thyself. 35-43.8 Therefore I, Zarathustra, said to him at first, 23 would wish to be a genuine enemy to the Druhist, 37 lit a vigorous support for the Ashaist, 38 that I may plan for the developments of the now Limitshathra, coming kingdom, 39 Javith, as much, zeal, as I am now praising and lauding thee, O Mazda, mindful, 40-14 Flohi life, JF Zarathustra. /Vision 6 demand for help to execute God's judgments. XX- and thereupon, when the punishments of those malefactors shall occur, 80 then, the saved man, shall obtain for thee, Mazda, mindful, with the help of Vohumana, good disposition, Th power, realm. 8 Which will be the fulfillment, of the world's destiny, and Thi will be obtained by those, who shall deliver the Druj, into the 2 hands of Asha, justice. 91 XXX9 and may we be those who shall make life progressive, Oj purposeful, b. 90 Assemble together, along with Asha, justice, Ahuras Mazdal, Lords mindfuls, and come hither 9 so that here where our thoughts formerly developed, separately, they may now mature together. fuse, or culminate, and become wisdom. 9 IXXX-10 Then shall the success of the Druj break down. 9 And all those who shall be attaining a good renown. 9 I shall obtain their reward, meeting at the good dwelling of Vod, Mana, good disposition, Mazda, mindful, and Asha, justice. GJXXXLLO When, you mortals, you have familiarized yourselves with the C commandments of Mazda, mindful, about the twin mentalities, which mean, 9J prosperity as opposed to adversity, and the length of the sufferance of the Druhists, as contrasted with the useful progress of Th, Ashaists Oj, when, I repeat, you have fully realized the significance of Thi, contrast, I feel quite sure none of, you all, will, hesitate or delay to, enter into the desired abode of praise. 9 Fe Life cf. Zarathustra 15 Lon 6 Demand for help to execute God's judgments. 4343 O recognized the, Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, as he bounteous, divinity, 361 Len, with, good disposition, Vohumana, some man, aim around 62 My learn the details of desire. 61 I've me the inalienable gift of long enjoyment. 64 The desired existence which is said to be in thy kshetra, realm. 643 J4T As a wealthy man, according to his knowledge or ability gives to a friend. 30 Thou, Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, give to me hose thy provisions of support. 67 Much as thou endowedst me with Asha, justice, so that I might stand forth. 68 Th All those who remember thy mystic word. 70 Arouse those who make, scorn, be, doubtful, of thy cachings. 69 The life of Zarathustra Vision 7 Mission of Orthodoxy Amiati aligns the Patak XXXI-19 But hearken to him who thought out Asha, justice, that I, Zarathustra who is the life-healing expert knower. 15 Him who is able to vindicate his tongue's speeches at will, at Th, latter day, is O, when, Ahura Mazda, Lord mindful, with thy red, furred the good, compensations, of the two contending parties are to be distributed, with thy red fire, produced by the two rubbing sticks. 15 IXXXL 20 Destruction, lasting darkness. Bad food, and imprecations shall at the latter day be kept away from whomsoever identify himself with the Ashaists. 15 Oh, beware, Druhists, it is to that sort of existence that evil spirit may lead you. Li XXXI-21 From the resources of his innate glory, Ahura Mazda, Lord Minful, shall grant sustained communion if and fullness of orbitat, health, and amaritat, immortalit, and of Asha, justice, and of Kshetra, power, and Bomana, good disposition, if to whomsoever is a friend, to Ahura Mazda, Lord mindful, 3 Mind and deeds. KXXXI 22 The man who is well disposed, understands, this as clearly one does Mazda, mindful, who knows with the, divine, monaj, disposition. It is this well-disposed man, who holds Asha, justice, I union with the good Kshetra, political power, through speech and deeds. J. It is this well-disposed man, who is the most prospering compa oi unto thee, Ahura Mazda, Lord mindful, Ti life qf Zarathustra 17 Zion vn mission of Orthodoxy 8 Madi aligns the parties. 43 J50 recognized the, Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, as the bounteous, divinity, Jai with, good disposition, Vohumana, some man, came around, to ask me a question. Yelen the best Tushnamate, silent devotion, inspired me to proclaim, to him, 73 L, man as, important, as an Ashaist, should not curry favor with a Druhist. 74, R, it is the duty, of the Ashaist, to consider, all, Druhists' loss, hostile. 75 O, A, Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, inasmuch as Zarathustra chooses the, bounteous mentality, menu of Mazda, mindful, 376 E, Zarathustra, teaches that each most bounteous man should to himself attach Asha, justice. 77 Living in a vigorous corporeal manner. 78 Armati, love, be found, in the Kshatriya realm, that ever beholds the sun. 79 Here, we pray, may Armati, love, with Vohumana, good disposition, to all grant a compensation, through the instrumentality of the deeds they may have performed. 80 Life QF Zarathu RHTRSWXXXI 18 O Therefore well-disposed believer, hearken not to the mystf words or teachings of any of the Druists, for these would reduce house, village, clan, or province, to misfortune or death. 1 Therefore, rather oppose them with the weapon. 11 XXXIV Those evil-doers who drive away bounteous Armati, love, O highly prized by the expert knower Mazda, mindful, 2 Because they have no share of Vohumana, good dispositio are shunned by the man endowed by Asha, justice, as much the savages are shunned by us. 2 IXXXIV-10 The clever expert knower will say he holds, 1, to the deeds Vohumana, good disposition, 2 and 2, to the bounteous creator Armati, love, TB Associa, wife, of Asha, justice, 2 and 3, to all thy hopes, that are to be realized, in thy Shith, power, O Ahura Mazda, Lord mindful, 2 Fihe Life QF Zarathustra. 19. 20 Life FLF Zarathustra 4. Zarathustra seeks immortality in vain. Zarathustra is rejected by the Spentamanist cult. 33.6. *XXX The Devaists did not discriminate accurately between these two, because 82 just as they were deliberating, there came upon them a delusion so that they should choose the worst mind. 83 So that, altogether, they rushed over to Ishma, fury, through which they afflict the life of man with disease. 84 XXX7 And to this, man now sick, came, Mazdayasna, mindful Lord, with the Kshatriya, power, realm, with Vohumana, good disposition, and with Asha, justice. 85 And Armati, love, endowed the sick body of man with firmness and endurance. 86 So that he may become the first of those surviving the tests of passing through the metallic trials, and through adhanas, the retributions. 87 XXXII 6 who, as priest, coming, through Asha, justice, from the best mind, desire, to walk, the just, paths, of the bounteous mentality. 229 Going, from us, the Ashayas priests, towards the pastures which advisory managers ought to work through the Vohu, Mana, disposition. 230 O, for these two objects, I wish, Ahura Mazda, Lord mindful, to consult together, both the best mind, and the bounteous mentality, visibly. 231 Tife Life QF Zarathustra 4. Zarathustra seeks immorta. In vain, Zarathustra is rejected by the Spentamanist cult. 33 6, 44.17 Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, this I ask of thee, speak to me truly. 461 How shall I carry out the object inspired by you? 62 Namely, my attachment to you, in order that, my speech may grow mighty, and 63, that by that word of mine the adherent of Asha, Eustice, 64 lay in the future commune with Orbitat, health, and Amarita, immortality. 65 J5 Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, this I ask of thee, speak to me truly. 466, How shall I earn through Asha, justice, that compensation? 67 HICH was announced to me, on account of Orbitat, health, and Amarita, immortality. 69 Camely, 10 mares with stallions, and a camel .0 that, I might in the future impart the mystic word of these twin divinities to those adherents of Asha, justice. 22 TTE Life QF Zarathustra V. As student with the Mazdayist cult XXXI- in order that I may cause all men to choose aright, I pray thee, O Ahura Mazda, Lord mindful, with the tongue of thy mouth to tell Los, 1. What satisfaction, taught through Asha, justice, thou will give to both contending parties, through mentality and fire, Lof, 2. What is thy command for the enlightened, that we may understand, that command? 10/IXXXI4, and this command is, that as far as Asha, justice, and the other Ahuras Mazda, lords mindfuls, are willing to be invoked Los through Ashi, compensation, and Armadi, love, and the Basi mana, disposition, so far shall I seek for myself the Kshatra, power of realm, b. the vigorous increase whereof, we may defeat the Druj. Il XXXI-O tell me, Ahura Mazda, Lord mindful, what is not to occur and what is to occur, 1/L in order that I may distinguish that, what, ever success therein you may have given me, through Asha, justice, was the Beti thing, 11 in, 2, order that I may understand it through Vohumana, go see disposition, and, 3, may ponder over this, so that by understanding it fully, I may gather therefrom a reward 11, life qf Zarathustra nb. As student with the Mazdayist cult L questions about theology *O Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, this I ask of thee, speak to me truly. J8 How should I pray, when I wish to pray to one like you? O may one like you, Mazda, mindful, who is friendly, teach one like me. 83 And may you give us supporting aids through the friendly Asha, justice, 84 And tell us how you may come to us with Vohumana, good disposition. 85:44-2 O Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, this I ask of thee, speak to me truly. 3-4 Whether at the beginning of the best life 87 the retributions will be of profit to their recipients. 88 and 2 Whether he who is bounteous to all through Asha, justice, and who watches the end 89 through his mentality, manu whether he is the life-healing friend of the people, 924 life qf Zarathu rhtrwxxxi 2 Whether Mazda, mindful, was the first one to fill the glories of heaven with lights of stars or flames, 118, 3 Whether Mazda, mindful, through understanding created Asha, justice, and, 4, whether Asha, justice, will maintain the best activity of Vohu. Mana, good disposition, 119, 5, whether Mazda, mindful, shall cause these, Asha and Vohu mana, to prosper through the, holy, mentality, which is ever the same until the present time. 120 XXXL8 Whereupon, when Zarathustra with his own by looking at nature, and through his mind by puzzling out its significance, comprehended Mazda, mindful, and mana, disposition, 122 Then Zarathustra understood that Mazda, mindful, was, 1, both the first and youngest of creation, 2, and the father of Vohumana, good disposition, 121, 3, the genuine creator of Asha, justice, and, 4, the, ruling, Lord in the deeds of life, 123 XXXL 11 7, that at first thou, Mazda, mindful, with thy mind and understanding, 130, a, thou didst shape substance and spirits, and, b, didst establish body and life, 131 and, c, deeds and doctrines whereby men who exercised their faculties of choice might develop convictions. 132 The life qf Zarathu HTRD 115 44.3 O Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, this I ask of thee, speak to me truly. O I who was the first father of Asha, justice, by giving birth to him. 92 Who established the sun, lit day, S and the star, glistening sphere, and the Milky Way. No who, apart from thee, established the law, by which the moon waxes and wanes? 94 These and other things would I like to know. 9544.40 Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, this I ask of thee, speak to me truly. 396 I who was from beneath sustaining the earth and the clouds who so that they would not fall down? Made the waters and the plants? 98 Who yoked the two swift ones, thunder and lightning, to the wind and to the clouds? 99 Who is the creator of Bahumana? 444-50 Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, this I ask of thee, speak to me truly. 401 Who produced the well-made lights and darkness? 2 Who produced sleep, well-induced through laborious waking? 3 Who produced the dawns and the noon through the contrast with the night, 4 Whose daily changes, act, for the enlightened believers, as, monitors of their interests? 526 Life of Zarathustra RHTR and, XXXI 14 Ahura Mazda, Lord mindful, I ask thee about these conditions, present and future 139, namely, 1. What compensations will be given to satisfy the claims of the atheist, 140, and what compensations shall be enforced, from the druidist, how shall both stand at the time of awarding the compensations? 141 XXXI-15 2. Ahura, Lord, I ask thee what shall be the punishments, a. of those who encourage the dominion of the druidist, 142, b. of those who cannot make their living, 143 without violence to cattle and to men devoted to herding them. 144 XXXI-16 3, Mazdayasna, mindful Lord, I ask thee whether the well-disposed man who may strive, 145 to improve the houses, the villages, the clans, and the provinces, through Asha, justice, 145 whether, a. he may, at all, become a being like unto thee, b. if so, when shall he arise, unto this likeness, and, c. what, deeds, he shall do, to become such. 147 XXXI-17 4, tell me Lord, which is the more important object of choice, that of the atheist or that of the druidist? 148 Do thou who art the expert knower inform me who would become one, and do not permit the ignorant man to continue deluding such as me who would like Ahura Mazda, be thou to us learn, an instructor of Bohu I49 mana, good disposition. JQ the life QF Zarathu RHTR and 2744.6 Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, this I ask of thee, speak to me truly. 406 The message I am about to proclaim genuine? 7 Does Armadi, love, support Asha, justice, through deeds? 8 Dost thou with Bahumana, good disposition, destine the Kshatriya, realm, for these, behavers? 9 For whom but these, believers, didst thou shape the fortune-bringing cattle? 1044.73 Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, this I ask of thee, speak to me truly. 411 No-shaped prized Armadi, love, with Kshatriya, power? 12 Aho, by guidance, education, m. rendered sons reverent one to their fathers. 13 It is, I who strive to learn to recognize thee. 14 Through the bounteous mentality, spent a menu as giver of all good things. 144.8 I, Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, this I ask of thee, speak to me truly. 46 I would like to know, what sort of a purpose is thine, that I may be mindful of it. 17 2 What are thy utterances, about which I ask through the aid of Bahumana, good disposition? 18 The proper knowledge of life through Asha, justice. 19 How my shall soul, encouraged by bliss, arrive at that good reward? Happy face. 28 Thai life QF Zarathustra XXXIV-12 What is thy decree? What is thy wish? What praise, Wahim, wouldst thou have me raise to thee? 28 Oh, in order, that we may hear it, do thou, Ahura Mazda, I unmindful, reveal what compensation thou wilt grant, as a reward, for keeping thy observances. 29. O teach us, Asha, 1. The passible paths of Vohumana, good disposition, 29 XXXIV-13 and, 2. The way of Vohumana, good disposition, a. Of which thou toldst me, 29, b. Which is well formed by Asha, justice, c. On which tt spirits of the Saviours progress 25 o, d. Which thou, Mazda, mindful, hast assigned for tl clever, as one of the compensations which are at thy disposal XXXIV-14 o which choice, compensation, Ahura Mazda, Lord mindful give, 1. To my corporeal hafatus through the action of Vohumana, good dispositions, and, 2. To whomsoever belongs to the groups of those who lavo at herding calving, cows, 29, for your compensations consist of, good wisdom of the undedge standing, which causes prosperity for the caste of laboring me, XXXIV-15 O Ahura Mazda, Lord mindful, with Vohumana, good disposition, and with Asha, justice, inform me of twos the best teachings and deeds and speeches, and what praise of we you claim as your due. 25 W through Sthathra, power, grant that, according to your humanity may be progressive. 3. Tai life QF Zarathu RHTR 2944.9 Io Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, this I ask of thee, speak to me truly. 421 T How may I accomplish the sanctification of those spirits 22 to whom thou, the well-disposed master of the coming kingdom, Kshathra, I-23 hast pronounced promises about its genuine blessings, 24 I promising that those spirits shall dwell in the same dwelling with Asha, justice, and Vohumana good dispose, Ishan, 2544 J0 I lo Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, this I ask of thee. Speak to me truly. 426, how, will, such a promise, properly nurture, good, deeds, 29 which are the best qualities of these my followers spear I its together with, 2, utterances of humility. 27 How, will, the promise, cause my, followers, settlements to prosper through Asha, justice. 28 The aspirations of my mystic wisdom shall wish for thy second birth, c 48.5, Mazda, mindful, 3044. Nd Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, this I ask of thee, speak to me truly. 43 Hio will Armadi, love, actually, in deeds, extend over those, persons, 3 to whom thy spirit, religion, was announced, as a doctrine. Zi3 An account of whom I first was elected, acknowledged, m, and whom I love, 34 All others I look upon with hostility of mentality. 35 I30 IHE Life QF Zarathu HTR Vi Life QF2 Aratharati 31 IL Questions about propaganda by 144 J2, Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, this I ask of thee speak to me truly. 405 How shall I, from among those whom I am addressing, tell the atheist from the druhist? Why which of these two is the enemy of life, opposed? 38 Or shall I take it for granted that whoever opposes thy prophet is an enemy and a druhist? 39 I had is the real condition of affairs with him, the drujist? Shall he not be considered an enemy? 41 44.13 Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, this I ask of thee, speak to me truly. 441 Lo may we drive off from us the druhist? 42 Exclaim, down with those who, being full of disobedience, 43 Do, not strive to be together with Asha, justice, 44 I, nor desire to understand the problems of Vohumana, good disposition, 45 44.14 Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, this I ask of thee, speak to me truly. 44 Lo may I deliver the druj into the hands of Asha, Eustice? 47 Had I may smite them down, according to the promises, or, through the power, of thy words of, thy, doctrines, 48 that, even, within, or, among, the Druists, I, may, accomplish powerful destruction, 49 hat those torturers and haters may perish. 532 *PK Life of Zar and Thursday RHTR end. Thai Life QF Zarathustra ZZ44J5, Ahura Mazda, Mindful Lord, this I ask of thee, speak to me truly. 4p Tell me, whether, in order to protect me, thou hast tact and control of this, opposition? Whenever the two hostile armies shall meet, 53 Why those commands of righteousness which thou shalt maintain, 54b Which of the two parties wilt thou give victory? 5544J6, Ahura Mazda, Mindful Lord, this I ask of thee, speak to me truly. 456 Tell me, who comes victoriously with thy doctrines to protect those who are existent? 57 Do thou who art, life-healing, clearly designate to me an established judge. 5 O him, whosoever he be, to whom thou wishest, to give this appointment as judge. 60 O him may, then, srasha, obedience, with vohumana, good disposition, then come. 5924 F Life CF2 Arathu HTRD Thai Life GF Zarathustra 3544 J9 Ahura Mazda, Mindful Lord, this I ask of thee, speak to me truly. 471 How shall be punished, he who does not give, the above, compensation to, me who earned it, 72 To me, who, earned it, by uttering just teachings? 73 Know what punishment will overtake him at the last day. 74 Ut, tell, me what punishment will overtake him here in this first, life. 75 44.203 People, you might as well obey MC, as I shall let you judge for yourselves, smiley face, lave you prospered under the rule of the Devas. 476 umpires between us, I shall ask those for the sake of whose feeding 77 He Carapas and the Uxik give up the cattle to Ishma, fury and rapine, 7 Or whom the Kavais have made, the cattle, lament exceedingly, 79 Instead of, through Asha, justice, prospering pasturage, so as to care for, the cattle. 8036 Thai Life QF Zarathustra C Entrance into public life. I creation QF the cattle, its choice of a master, XXXI-0, 5, that, Mazdayasna, mindful Lord, to thee belongs bottle, armati, and the shaper of the bovine, creation, which wa part of, the understanding of the, holy, mentality. /2 6, that when for, the cow, thou didst ordain a path, of free dom of will, following which, 12. She might repudiate the herdsman, and go to abide with th nomad 12ixxxi-10 Then she chose for herself from among the two, possible lords, the herdsman or nomad, the herdsmen who lowly follow her, 121, namely, the atheist, who feels that it is his mission to see to it that all things that belong to Vohumana, good disposition, prosper, and who in return is prospered by him, 12. Whereas, the nomad shall not get a share of Vohumana, gu, disposition, s favorable report, at the judgment, as in th, verse 14, even though he should urge for it, so long as he will not herd cattle, 12. E-Life QF Zarathustra 37 C Entrance into public life. T Creation QF the cattle, its choice QF a master. 51-7 B Mazda, mindful, thou who art the fashioner of the bovine, creation, the waters, and the plants. 812 Through the most, bounteous mentality, spent a menu, grant me amarita, immortality, and orvidit, health, which are full of vitality, and are, through Vohumana, good disposition, enduring in the holy doctrines. 4446, be Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, this I ask of thee, speak to me truly. 45 Tell me, who comes victoriously with thy doctrines to protect those who are existent? 57 Do thou who art, life-healing, clearly designate to me an established judge. 5. To him, whosoever he be, to whom thou wishest, to give this appointment as judge, happy face, to him may, then, srasha, obedience, with vohumana, good disposition, then come. 5938 Flohi life qf Zarathustra il capture qf ishaist called, appointment as judge el the bovine creation demands protection *xxix-I the soul of the bovine, creation, complained to you, for whose benefit did you fashion me? Who shaped me? 3 Fury, rages, against me, violence and cruelty, maltreatment and roughness oppress me. 3 I have no herdsman except you, therefore, it is, you, I beg, procure me good pasture. 3. XXIX then the shaper of the bovine, creation, asked Asha, justice, what was thy idea about a judge for the bovine? 37 Did you make an energetic herdsman along with the pasture when you made the bovine, creation? 3 I on whom have you decided as her lord, who may repel the fur, of the attack, by the Druists? 3's XXIX Mazda, mindful, who was, with Asha, justice, answered Tc the shaper of the bovine creation, for the bovine do I know of a helper who would not be liable to do harm. 4. Those, savages, yonder do not comprehend how just, mere would, treat their dependents. 41 But, if there is no human helper, to whomsoever of living being I come as help, he is the strongest of living beings. 41 \XXIX Asha, justice, interrupts. Mazda, mindful, is the, being, most retentive of the plans, which have been performed devas, gods, and men in the past, for and also of the plans which shall be performed in the future. 4. And as to the present it is, he Ahura, Lord, who makes the decisions, it is, whatever he wills, that, will happen to us. 4f, XXIX-, if that is so, said the shaper of the bovine creation, there shall both, my soul and that of the calving cow, urge Mazda, mindful, with questions, 4, and placate him with outstretched hands, praying that, 4, no destruction may affect the mestiaving farmer, who dwells, among the Druists. 4 I the life gf Zarathustra and 39f capture qf ishaist called, appointment as judge 44.6 Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, this I ask of thee, j, me speak to truly, 406s the message I am about to proclaim genuine, 7 pose armadi, love, support Asha, justice, through deeds, 8 L, ost thou with vohumana, good disposition, destin the Kshatra, realm, for these, believers, 9 or whom but these, believers, didst thou shape the foresee, tune bringing cattle? Lo, Lisi 44.20 tons, O people, you might as well obey me, as I shall let you, judge for yourselves, I of you prospered under the rule of the Devas. 476 As umpires between us, I shall ask those for the sake of whose feeding 77 the Carapas and the Uxik give up the cattle to Ishma, Fury and Rapin, 78 or whom the Cavais have made, the cattle, lament exceedingly, instead of, through Asha, justice, so as to care for, the cattle. 79 Prospering pasturage, 80-40 life qf Zarathustra rhtr and XXIX6, in answer to which, Ahura Mazda, Lord mindful, who knows the decrees which, make, for wisdom, himself spoke, inasmuch as, neither overlord, nor rightly appointed judge exists for thee, therefore I, who am the fashioner, shaped thee for the farm and pasturer. XXIX- this decree, which provided fat, pastoral, food for the cattle, and destined, the, cattle, milk food for the hungry, farm and pasturer, was uttered by, Ahura Mazda, Lord mindful, in agreeing with Asha, justice, through his bountiful teaching. But the bovine pair were at a loss for someone to enforce th decree on earth, so they asked, what, man, hast thou vohumana, good disposition, who could tend us both amor men. The call of Zarathustra as teacher and protector XXIX vohumana, good disposition, answered, the only person known unto me here who has hearkened to our teaching is Zarathustra Spidama, he is desirous of proclaiming TL, divine, thought, for Mazda, mindful, and Asha, justice, so we will endow H words with, attractive, sweetness FXXIX thereupon the soul of the bovine, creation, lamented, woe is me that it is I, who must for a preparer, for VC needs, put up with the impotent speech of an impotent man, I, who wished for myself a self-depending, divine, ruler, in what age shall he who may give me energetic help arise, TXXIX-10 Zarathustra speaks. I beg, you, Ahura, Lord, and Ash, justice, that you will give to these two, the soul of TL bovine creation and the calving cow, T such vigor and ruling power as gives peace of dwelling through vohumanas, good dispositions, assistance. TOS to me, Mazda, mindful, I have, in this my call to Sir / recognized thee as the original provider of supplies. IHE Life QF2 Zarathustra. 41 A Pi Life QF Zarathustra RHTRDXXIX-11 where, else, except with thee, Mazda, mindful, is as justice, and vohumana, good disposition, and shati, political power? O so, mortals, receive me among you that I may impart to eke instruction for the great Magian cause. To grant us help, now Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord. 4. WLV intend to be, of service to such divinities as you. IIL capture of vohumanist cult dualism proclaimed. L exhortation to the faithful to open deeds to the mystery IXX1. Oh but thus, souls, desirous, of hearing, I will utter, 1. Thus things worthy to be remembered by the expert knower 6. 2. The praises for Ahura, Lord, and, 3. Hymns, worthy, O vohumana, good disposition, 6. And things well remembered with the aid of Asha, justice, and the propitious, omens, beheld through the lights, of the stars or of the altar flames, 65 XXX2 listen with your ears to the best, information, behold with your sight, and with your mind, 7 see man by man, each for his own person, distinguishing between both confessions, 7j before this great crisis. Consider again. 72 E Life GF2 Arathu RHTR and 43.3. Capture QF Vohutnanist cult dualism proclaimed L repeated exhortation to the faithful to open their ears to the mystery *45-1 S Jau will I speak out, listen and hear, 481 Sfo who, from far and near, have come to sec, my word, 82 Sao, I exhort you, clearly to impress on your memory, the evil teacher, and his faults, for, 83 O longer shall the evil teacher druj that he is. De Troy the second life, 84n, the speech of, his tongue misleading to the evil life. 85 Il the doctrinal dualistic foundation of partisanship 45-2 Now will I speak out, at the beginning of life 486 J the holier, mentality, said to the, opposing mentality who was, more hostile, 87 F neither our thoughts, doctrines, plans, 88 J reliefs, utterances, deeds, 89 I individualities, nor souls agree. 91 INL the good spirit teaches the best word of agriculture * 463 How will I speak out? Of that, which, at the beginning of life, 49 The knowing Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, said 92 Those who do not practice the word, 93 Vs I consider and declare it, 94 RHCY shall have woe at the end of life / 95 44 E life QF Zarathustra /HTR. I. Revelation of the doctrinal root of the division of the predict XXX.3 At the beginning both these mentalities became conscious of EAC other, 7 the one being a mentality better in thought and word and DC than the other mentality who is bad. Now let the just man discriminate between these two, and choose the benevolent one, not the bad one. 7 XXX But when the twin mentalities came together, they produced 7, the first life, and lifelessness, and settled on the state of last condition of existence. 711 The worst for the Druhists, but for the Ashaists the best mind. 7/XXX The Druhist chose between these twin mentalities, the one perpetrated the worst deeds. 7. But he, one, who was inspired by the most bountiful mentalit, that is clothed upon by the most adamantine stone quarry, see heavens as a garment. 8. And he, too, who cheerfully satisfied Ahura Mazda, Lord mindful with sincere deeds, chose Asha, justice. 81 TF Life QF Zarathustra 45 L Revelation of the dualistic root of the division of the patties * 493 HR Belief, Asha, justice, is set down as the means to profit. 710 V Heil, on the contrary, in their teaching the lie of the Druj is set down as the means to harm. 1 Consequently, I zealously insist on communion with Vohumana, good disposition. 12. Nd on swearing off, renouncing, all association with the Druj. 1346 E Life GF Zarathustra 4. Zarathustra is afflicted with sickness, the metallic fire test drives him to seek help in a vision. XXXL, this is the best reward of life, namely, that Kshatriya, realm which, the man who receives it, may for his own concurry advantage, increase for Mazda, the mindful one, Thrug Vohumana, good disposition. 11. May this best reward be granted to him who, after having discovered for himself the right solution to these following problems that distress me, will tell me sincerely. 11. 1. Asha, justice, s mystic word, which is the secret of Orvadat, health, and Amrita, immortality. Il XXXI-. 2. Whether Mazda, mindful, was the first one to fill the glory of heaven with lights of stars or flames. 111. 3. Whether Mazda, mindful, through understanding create Asha, justice, and 4. Whether Asha, justice, will maintain the best activity of Vohumana, good disposition. High. 5. Whether Mazda, mindful, shall cause these, Asha and Vohumana, to prosper through the holy mentality, which is ever the same until the present time. 12. Thursil the expert knower is not to commit any of these deeds of violence, whose fatal end thou, Ahura Mazda, best knowest. 184. He is not to commit any of them, even if tempted to do so, through a well-intentioned, misguided desire for proper gain. 186. For it was such a desire that led Grema to become notorious through his glittering sword of violence. 185 IHE Life QF Zarathustra 47. 4. Zarathustra is afflicted with sickness, the metallic fire test drives him to seek help in a vision. 5 J.901 ID Do thou, Mazda, mindful, within the nature of both contending parties, set satisfaction, as a token of thy healing presence, as a relief from the suffering osed by the disease which consumes me, as if it were metal, molten through thy red fire, which, as a sifter, Hall, 8I8 IRM the Druhist, but profit the Ashaist. 2048 IHE Life QF Zarathustra. Thursil 10 distribute, Mazda, from thy delight, all the pleasures of Lafi which were and are yet becoming. 24 And cause my body to grow as I wish, with Vohumana, Gosai disposition, Kshatriya, power, and Asha, justice. 24 XXXII-12 Arise up to me, Ahura Mazda, Lord mindful, grant me, 1 Through Armati, love, vitality. 2. Through the most bounteous mentality, grant me strength. 3, through good Ada, retribution, 2 and through Asha, justice, grant me, powerful might, and through Vohumana, good disposition, grant, sation 2xxxii-14. But, Ahura Mazda, Lord mindful, Zarathustra offers as oblation his own body, 21 and the first fruits of Vohumana, good disposition, 2. And the Srasha, obedience, and Shithra, power, of deeds and uttered words, through Asha, justice. 21 IHE life QF2 Zarathustra. 49 250 E life CF Zarathustra. V in vision he receives the word QF immortal LXXXI 21 from the resources of his innate glory, Ahura Mazda, Lord mindful, shall grant sustained communion 1, and fullness of orbitat, health, and Amrita, immortalit and of Asha, justice, and of Shithra, power, and Valimana, good disposition, high to whomsoever is a friend, to Ahura Mazda, Lord mindful, I mind and deeds. Amthursil therefore, you will defraud man of good life, here, and immortality, beyond, because with evil mind and bad speech, he, Grema, verse 12, the evil mentality, advises the deeds with which he causes you, who are devas, ai the druhist, man aforementioned, to perish. 1 Tai life QF2 Zarathustra 51v. In vision he receives the word QF immortality 45-4. Now will I speak out, what is, the best of life, 496 O through Asha, justice, Mazda, mindful, have I I covered, thee, who hast created him, Asha, 97, 2, that Mazda, mindful, is the father of the working Vohumana, good disposition, 98, 3, and that Armadi, love, who produces good deeds, is his daughter, 99, 4, and that the all-detecting Ahura, Lord, is not to be deceived. 545-5 Now will I, who am the utterer of this word which is the best for mortal men to hear, 501 speak out what the most bounteous Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, said to me, to those who, for, the attainment of, this, mystic manthric word, grant their obedience, 3 They shall come up with orbitat, health, and amirtat, immortality, 4 With the deeds of the good, mentality, manu. 5/y. By rewards and punishments will Ahura Mazda vindicate Zarathustra as judge. 45.6 Now will I speak out about the greatest, being, of all 506 through Asha, justice, praising Mazda, mindful, who blesses all existent, beings. 7 Let Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, hear, through Spenta Manu, the bounteous mentality, the fact, 8 That I consulted Vohumana, good disposition, as to, how I should adore, Mazda, mindful, 9 Through whose, Mazda's, understanding, may he, Vohumana, teach me the best, teachings. 10-5 Life QF Zarathustra End. Prayer for thy conviction. XXXIII-O Do thou regard, 1. The interests which I am advancing through Vohumana, good disposition, 231, 2. The hymn, O Mazda, mindful, addressed to, one like you and, 3. My grateful communions with Asha, justice, 2-3 And give me your twin enduring possessions of Amrita, immortality, and orbitat, health. 237 Thursil O But let me Mazda, mindful, bring the, holy, mentality O1 These 2, divine, companions who prosper, the, Ashayastai, just, life 238 Unto the comfortable dwellings, with me, who have the best manna, best disposition, 239 In thus arousing the support of these 2, divinities, whose souls are accompanying each other. 240 TTE Life QF Zarathustra. 53-45-7 Let the preparers, for the conversion of the world, both those who were, and, those who, are, yet, becoming 512 wish for the profits of the compensations, 1 the successful soul of the atheist, abiding, in amarita, immortality. J with enduringness, while, the druists shall endure griefs in all this Ahura Mazda, the mindful Lord, creates through Shithra, the coming of the kingdom. IC/4S8, thou shalt seek to win, Mazda, mindful, with such praise of reverence, as, for instance, this psalm. I 516 with my own eyes shall I now behold the heaven. 17:3f the good mentality of word and deed. 18 loving, through Asha, justice, known Ahura Mazda, the mindful Lord. 19 to whom let us, in heaven, set down adorations for the filling of the dwelling of praise, paradise. Gurdman/2045.9 IIIM, Mazda, along with Vohumana, good disposition, shalt thou seek to satisfy for us. 521 he because it is, who, by his will, makes our fortune or misfortune. 22 Vile Ahura Mazda, the mindful Lord, through his Shithra, realm. 3 Rant, for the group of herdsmen, prospering of our cattle and men /y the proficiency of Vohu through Asha, justice. Mana, good for disposition. 554 IHE life QF Zarathustra and XXXIVLJO among the foremost, of thy worshippers, we offer to thee, Ahura Mazda mindful Lord, through the mind of the good mentality. 258. XXXIV all the deeds, speeches and hymns through which, deeds, speeches and hymns, thou shalt bestow amarita, immortality. Asha, 25-5c, justice, Shithra, power, and Orvidit, health. 257 and we bear the praises of thy grateful people, with a bounteousness, such as would gratefully follow along the paths of Asha, justice. 26c, even, into the outer realms, of the heavenly presence, of Io, divinity, such as you, Ahura Mazda, Lord mindful. 261 XXXIV-11 thus for, that expert knower, both Orvidit, health, ANC amarita, immortality, serve, for food 28f and Armady ever has caused the two enduring and vital, divinities just mentioned, to grow through the Sithra, power, Oivohumana, good disposition, and through Asha, justice. O thus, Mazda, mindful, thou blessest the opponents of THJ enemies. 28 I7G life GF2 Arathawi HTRW 55 4540 Iao shalt thou, O individual believer, with hymns of Armady, love, magnify R263 IM. Who is reputed to be Ahura Mazda, the mindful Lord, for eternity. 27 since through Asha, justice, and Vohumana, good disposition, has promised us. 28 that in his Shithra, realm, we shall obtain Orvidit, health, and amarita, immortality. 29 5 ut we shall obtain that his, heavenly, dwelling through vitality and enduringness. 30 v * supporting the prophet is therefore the chief duty. 45.11 Whoever, therefore, in the future scorns, I, the Devas 531 and, 2, the men who scorn him, Zarathustra, 32 \ND all others, lukewarm neutrals, except whoever is devoted to him, Zarathustra, 33 shall be considered, by the bounteous individuality of, Zarathustra, who is, Savior and Master of the house. 34, as his friend, brother, or father, O Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord. 35, II 56 * IHE life QF Zarathustra Tfe life QF Zarathustra 57 474 with spent amanu, the bounteous mentality, and with the best mana, disposition. 60 with the Shithra, power, and Armady, love, Ahura Mazda, the mindful Lord. 3 gives Orvidit, health, and amarita, immortality. 32 for the deeds and speeches caused by Asha, justice. 31 484 when, Zarathustra, shall overcome the Druj by retributions through Asha, justice, 654 when he arrives at what long since was announced 55 through, the fate of, Devas and the doomed, unbelievers, in, the realm of, immortality, 56 then, Ahura, Lord, Zarathustra, will, with prophets, prosper, the faithful believer who, prays to thee. 57-58 FFFFE Life QF Zarathustra. Vihi Life QF Zarathustra 59-6. Capture of Spentamanuist cult coming QF the Holy Ghost 43.8 Therefore I, Zarathustra, said to him at first, 336 I would wish to be a genuine enemy to the Druhist, 37 but a vigorous support for the Ashaist, 38 so that I may plan for the developments of the now Limite coming kingdom, 39, with, as much, zeal, as I am now praising and lauding thee, O Mazda, mindful, 40-43. J2 And at the same time, when thou toldst me to answer him, depend on Asha, justice, for support. 356 Then to me, Zarathustra, who was not disobedient. Thou utteredst the command, 57 Thou hadst better arouse, thy prophecy, before the coming 58 of Srasha, obedience, together with the rich Ashi, compensation, 59 Who will distribute to both contending parties compensations for their profit. 64-3 J60 Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, inasmuch as Zarathustra chooses the bounteous mentality, menu of Mazda, mindful, 37-60 IHE Life of Zarathustra. Tai Life CF Zarathustra. 6 IE, Zarathustra, teaches that each most bounteous, man, should to himself attach Asha, justice, 77 by living in a vigorous corporeal manner, 78 May Armati, love, be found, in the Kshatra, realm, that ever beholds the sun, 70 Where, we pray, may Armati, love, with Vohumana, good disposition, to all grant a compensation, through the instrumentality of the deeds they may have performed. 80-45.8 Thou shalt seek to win, Mazda, mindful, with such praise of reverence, as, for instance, this psalm, smiley face, 516 With my own eyes shall I now behold, the heaven, 17 Of the good mentality of word and deed, 18 Having, through Asha, justice, known Ahura Mazda, the mindful Lord, 19 To whom let us, in heaven, set down adorations for the filling of Gurdman, the dwelling of praise. Paradise, 24,647 O so that in, this, place of trouble, Jamaspahvagva, 615 I am uttering for, all of, you utterances, not of indifferent matters, happy face, but praises for the preparer, Zarathustra himself, who will have stood for you together with Srasha, obedience, who shall sift the clever from the foolish 18 through Asha, justice, his clever advisory manager, O Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, 1962 If Life of 2 Zarathustra and IHE Life GF Zarathustras. SI, Song of the Spirit as Inspiref of War. With Sptamanu, the bounteous mentality, and with the best mana, disposition, Go with the Kshatra, power, and Armati, love, Ahura Mazda, the mindful Lord, Oo gives orbitat, health, and Amarita, immortality, 32 For the deeds and speeches caused by Asha, justice. 31-47-2 MTMU, mindful, is TB Father OT, justice. With this doctrinal thought 634 Zarathustra, I, declares, the best, treasure, of the most, bounteous mentality, spent a menu 35 with utterances through the tongue in the mouth of, good disposition, Vohumana, 36 ND, 2, works the deeds of Armati, love, with both his hands. Z 473 Ru art the bounteous, father, of this mentality, 638 Who hast shaped, I, the fortune-bringing cow for this, Zarathustra, 39 ND, 2, peace-bringing Armady, love, as her pasture, 40. Ahen, the mentality, consulted with Vohumana, good o disposition, Mazda, mindful, 464 E life qf Zarathu rhtr and tte life qf Zarathu htr 6547 *4 rhe Druhists have apostatized from this bounteous, father, of the mentality, namely, thyself, 642 Mazda, mindful. But not thus the Ashaists, for, 43 Rao a man be no more than poor, yet should he, to the best of his ability, entertain the Ashaists 44 and, in addition, if a man is powerful, he should effect evil for the Druhists. R 47.5 and through that, bounteous mentality, spent a manu, O Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, 46 mayest thou teach to the Ashaist what, doctrines and deeds, are the best 47 but shall the Druhist, who, lacks thy good pleasure, 48 and dwells with the deeds of the aka mana, bad disposition, have a share of this, best reward. 49-47 to 60 mayest thou, Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, give that, best, through, bounteous mentality, spent a manu 650, at, a distribution to both contending, parties, by means, of the good fire, 5, 2, and by the support of Armady, love, and Asha, Eustice, 5, I feel sure that, this, distribution of the best, will cause many who desire, the best, to choose conversion, to it. 66 tte life qf Zarathurus will Zarathustra are accepted publicly. XXXI- minding these your commands, O gods, let us pronounce speeches 100 unheeded by those who would, by the commands of Druj, destroy the substance of Asha, justice, 101 but most acceptable to them who will trust in Mazda, mindful, XXXI- but since the preferable path is not always obvious 103 therefore, as, heaven, appointed arbiter and judge over both parties, 10 will I go to you, that we may live in accordance with Asha. Justice. 105 L public self-consecration and its acceptance XXXII1, all three classes, the kinsman lord, the worker and the priestly opeer shall, deva, in spite of you, 166 pray for the joys of Ahura Mazda, Lord mindful, according to, my conceptions, says Zoroaster, 167, the three classes answer. May we be thy messengers, to repel those who hostilely deceive you, O divine beings. 168 IXXXII-2 to them replied Ahura Mazda, Lord mindful, who is in communion with Vohumana, good disposition, 169 Baishithra, power, with the gloriously sunny, well befriending Asha, justice, 170 we have accepted, this, your holy, good, submissive confession, which we name Armady, she shall be ours. 171 E life qf Zarathu rhtrd 6768 Thai life qf Zarathustra de-establishment cf Magian movement L fight with M. Deva. Zarathustra vituperates his rival Grema to the Devas XXXII-O, Zarathustra to the Devas, but you Devas are all as a seed, descended from, the bad mind, 172 and whatever mortal man will dare to reverence you, he shall be considered as belonging to the Druj, party, for he is proud, the opposite of Armady, love, 173 for you have become notorious, event to the seventh, region, of the earth, as being long since preceded by, the evil reputation of, your deeds 174 XXXII-4 since it is due to you that the worst behaving men are called Deva darlings 175 and are excluded from Vohumana, good dispositions, fellowship in the congregation, 176 perishing away from Asha, justice, and from the understanding of Mazda Ahura, mindful Lord, 177, the life gf Zarathustra. 69 De-establishment of Magian movement. L. Fight with the Deva failure in conversion, and demand on Mazda for vindication. Toward what earth shall I turn to flee? Whither shall I turn to escape? 536 If he groups of the herdsmen do not offer me the satisfaction of support. 38 Nobody offers me gifts on the part of gentlemen or of peer. 27 Neither do those who are princes of the land favor me, because of the Druhist. If 39 Flow shall I ever please thee, by successful establishment O I of thy cult, Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord. 46 2 Oh no, Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, the reason why I am so despised as to be impotent. 541 It is only because I possess so few flocks and followers. 42 Complain of this to thee. Investigate this complaint. 43 And then support me as friendship would dictate. 44 But one specially ask instruction, as to how to attain, through Asha, justice, the possession of Bohumana, good disposition. 4570 IHE Life of Zarathustra HTRDW Thursil Therefore, you will defraud man of good life, here, and immortality, beyond. 17 Because with evil mind and bad speech, he, Grema, verse 12, oh the evil mentality. 17 Advises the deeds with which he causes you, who are devas, and the Druhist, man aforementioned, to perish. 18 XXXII 6, Grema, has, so far, succeeded in perpetrating the many lenses through which he has become notorious. 18, but, whether he shall, continue this success, here on earth, thou alone knowest through thy Bohumana, good disposition, Ahura, Lord. 18 Oh, but of this I am sure, that, in thy Kshatriya realm, Mazdal, mindful, your doctrinal decision shall be given for Ashi, justice. 18 Thursil The expert knower is not to commit any of these deeds of violence, whose, fatal, and, thou, Ahura Mazda best knowest. 18 He is not to commit any of them, even if tempted to do Sajay through a well-intentioned, misguided desire for proper gain. Isj, for it was such a desire that led Grema to become Ncetorious through his glittering sword of violence. 18 TTE Life QF2 Aradhu HTR and 71 463 Oh when, Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, will those bully, glorious, days arrive. G When humanity's life will attain, the blessings, of Asha, justice. 47 Through the growing teachings of saviors, who will be men, of understanding, who are they, to whom Zarathustra, will come with, good disposition, Bohumana to help. 49 For myself I choose, this mission, to fulfill, it, with thy aid, Ahura, Lord. 50 A6 AJ But the Druhist is restraining those who are prospering of Asha, justice. 551 J To prosper, the interests, of the cattle, or of the village, or of the province. 52 Being notorious, repulsive through his own deeds. 53 So much so, that, who, ever, may dispatch him from the realm, Kshatriya of life. 54 He will, be doing the community a service, and, be going on the progressing paths of good teachings. 55 N rules how to treat convets. 46.5 Whatever well-informed person may have managed to withhold an Ashaist or Druhist 556 from keeping his vows or engagements, that are evil. 57.50 As to come to a decision to live according to the divine observances. 5 That, above well-informed person, should give due public notice, of that conversion, to some gentleman. 59 So that this gentleman might from then on, protect the convert from further maltreatment, Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord. 72 The life QF Zarathustra XXXII-8 As is, well, known, there was, among these, committers, violence Atritanuma, son, of Vivavant, 2 who in order to satisfy our men, gave pieces of beef to be, devoured. 1 certainly, expect to be, divided, from these, sinners, in Tho discriminating judgment, Mazda, mindful, 18 Thursil the prophet of evil, Grema, with his pronouncements will destro the words, which form, the understanding of life, 19 by hindering my wealth, the prized possession of Bohu Manje, good disposition. 19 with these uttered expressions, of my thought, as a complaint I appeal to thee, Mazda, mindful, through Asha, justice Thursil 10, it is Grema, who destroys, the effect of, my words, and WH, 1, preaches that 19 the cattle and the sun are the worst objects to behold, and, 2 who makes druhists out of clever, believers, 19 and, 3, who destroys the cultivated lands, and, 4, raises weapon against the atheist 19 Thursil 11 his followers would destroy my life. They have had many consultations with the druhists, so as 19, 1, to deprive the atheist masters and the mistresses of possession of their inheritance, and 19, 2, to cause the atheists to apostatize from the best mind, see Mazda, mindful, 191 Thursil 12, 3, and by their speeches, to cause men to apostatize from their best deeds. 9. Mazda, mindful, spoke, bad are ye, 1, who destroy the lip of cattle with cries of joy, 20 and who, 2, to Asha prefer Grema, Karpa, and the power favor able to the Druj. 20 Thai life qf Zarathustra 7346.6 But whoever, when thus warned of the convert's conversion, shall not go, to his side, to stand up for him, 561 he shall be banished to the genuine houses of the Druj, he will be accounted a genuine Druj, 62, just as, a druhist is most attractive to the druhist, 63, while, the atheist is dear to whomsoever is an atheist 64 Since, the time when, thou createdst the first spirits, O Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, 65-3. Actual struggle to Ta'uk converts, from Benva. 46.7 Whom, O Mazda, mindful, wilt thou commission as guardian for one like me, 566 Whenever the druhist prepares to commit violence against me. 67 Unless he be someone of divine power like thee, such as thy fire and manna, mind, 68 Through the deeds of both of whom Asha, justice, is Io ripened for the consummation, Ahura, Lord, 69 This is the teaching I propose to proclaim to human spirits. 70 I 46.8 May not misfortune attain me through the deeds 571 of anyone who intends to commit violence against my substance. 7 Rather, may his deeds, with hostility rebound on his own body, 73 2, and restrain him from good life, Mazda, mindful, 3, and, with hostility, fail to restrain him from the bad life 75-74 Flohi life of Zarathustra XXXII-13 through which Shithra, power, of the above Asha, justice, Grema will be degraded to hell, the dwelling of the worse Loj mind, 202. Where dwell, the destroyers of this life, and, then, Mazda, mindful, he will complain, being moved by a desire 20 for the message of thy prophet, who, then, however, will key him from beholding Asha, justice. 2 Thursil 14 Grema, 1, plans, the subjection of this, Asha, justice, 2, long since he supports both the Kavayas and the powerful, druhists, through his plans, 205 I which raises help unto the druhist, 2061 and, 3, he cries that, the cow is to be killed, and, 4, he will burn, the atheist, who repels death from her, by being, of help to her. 207 in * Zarathustra will exult in executing this final judgment * Thursil 15 But through these atheists, I will expel both the Karapans and Kavayits 208 who will not permit the atheists to rule their lives as they wish, by the divine law of cattle herding, 209 which, atheists, I pray will be born, to heaven, the dwelling of Bohumana, good disposition, by the twins, Orvitat and Amarita. 210 XXXII-16. All this is from that best divinity, who is teaching in the wide light of the stars, or of the altar flame. 211. Thou, O Mazda Ahura, mindful Lord, contrariest whomsoever threatens me with destruction. 212. So that I may encourage the beloved believers, by setting limits to the violence of the Druj, by the words of my mouth. 213. Thai life qf Zarathustra. 75. L hope for rewards in this life. IV hen, Zarathustra, shall overcome the Druj by retributions through Asha. Justice. 5 n /Atun. He arrives at what long since was announced. 55. Through the fate of Devas and the doomed unbelievers in the realm of immortality. C60. Then Ahura, Lord Zarathustra, will, with prophets, prosper the faithful believer who prays to thee. 57:48.20. Peak to me, Ahura, Lord. For thou art an exalts knower. 658. Will the Ashayist overcome the Druhist in this world. 60. For the beginning of the compensations, which thou hast thought out. 59. Hat would be a good message to the world. 6. In punishment for opposites and waverets. 483. Jud, for an expert knower, that is the best of teaching. 61. Vihish, the beneficent Ahura, Lord, is teaching, with Asha, justice. 663. The expert knower who is one like thee, O Mazda, mindful, through the understanding of Bahumana, good disposition, for now's bounteous secrets which are experienced in the doctrines. 76. Ihe life qf Zarathustra tte life qf Zarathustra. 77:48.40. Hoeber, Mazda, mindful, exercises his mind, now, through the better, and then again, through the worse, meditations. 555. Ho, ever, exercises his spirit with such uncertain deed and word. 67. V. Ho, ever, follows the delights, wishes, and convictions of such uncertainty. 68. Hall he, in thy estimation, at last be separated from those who have done thy will, or, who are worthy of being I in several places, or, of becoming confused. 69. In * right of believers to present comfort. * 48.5. Lay not bad rulers rule over us. Rather, may good rulers rule. 670. With deeds, inspired by good doctrinal thoughts. Armadi, love, thou, best one. 71. Who, for, mortal men, dost perfect an additional or later or a special birth. Iot, 2, for the cattle, perfecting, should fatten it for our food. That pasturage. 72. Which 73:48. 6, Armadi, love, prized by men of good disposition, Vohumana. 674. Or, men, she produced good dwelling, enduringness and vitality. 75. Iod 4, 2, that, cattle, Ahura Mazda, the mindful Lord, with Asha, justice, caused plants to grow. Lt. The birth of the first life. 77. Ys light life qf Zarathustra and the life gf Zarathustra. 79. 487. Let Ishma, fury of rapine, be put down, oppose cruelty. Ye who wish to assure yourselves of the reward of Bahumana, good disposition. 679. Through Asha, justice, to whose bond would wish to belong the bounteous man. 80. O who shall abide in thy dwelling, Ahura, Lord. 81. 4 * uncertainty here and hereafter. * 48:8. Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, is the wealth of thy goods Kshathra, realm, meant for me. 682. Is the wealth of thy compensation meant for me? 83. Will thy realm and compensation please the faithful believer, when it shall have been made manifest through one Asha, justice? 84. This would indeed be an incitation, or weighing off, of the deeds of the good mentality. 85:48.9. When may I know, O Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, I whether thou rulest through Asha, justice, 686 3 ver everyone from whom destruction threatens me. 87x is no more than right that thou shouldst tell me, in just words, the decrees of Bahumana, good disposition. 88 or, I Zarathustra who am, the Saviour would like to know how my, compensation shall be given to him, me. 80 asterisk RHE Life QF Zarathustra. Happy face, Life QF Zarathustra 8 IV asterisk nobles must resign luxury, enforce security, gain salvation asterisk 4540 when, O Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, will men gain knowledge of the message? Gu when will they expel the dregs of this, Hauma, intoxication? Gi whereby is practiced deceit by, I, the hostile carapans 92 and, 2, the bad land rulers, who are, in, the position to, understand. Oi 4841 O when, Mazda, mindful, will Armadi, love, with Asha, justice, and Shatra, power, 694 come, to us, through, our being able to have, good dwelling, and eventuate, in a pastoral realm. 95 Who will give us peace through bloody, slaughter, of the Druists? 96 Unto whom will the doctrinal thought of Bahumana, good disposition, enter, and with him abide? 97 4842 Oh but these are the saviors of lands, Mazda, mindful. Who, with Bahumana, good disposition, and Asha, justice, 699 strive to satisfy thy teachings or doctrines through deeds. They become conquerors of Ishma, fury of Rapin. 782 asterisk PT Life QF Zarathu HTR. E Life QF Zarathu HTR and 83 L Zarathustra utters imprecations on his successful opponent asterisk 49.1 ever has been hindered me, and proved himself the, greater, of us two, Qo when I, Mazda, mindful, through Asha, justice, was trying to satisfy the misled, crowds, O mindful Mazda, come to my support with thy good Ada, retribution, for and with the Bahumana, good disposition, through whom, thou, for, knowest the, impending, destruction of that, Benva. 49.2 But that Benva's teacher, Grema, that, apostate from Asha, justice, 706 that Druj, has long hindered me 7 He fails to insist on having with him the bounteous Armadi, love, 80 Neither, Mazda, mindful, does he counsel with Bahumana, good disposition. 9493 In our belief, Asha, justice, is set down as the means to profit, 7 While, on the contrary, in their teaching, the lie of the Druj is set down as the means to harm, Consequently, I zealously insist on communion with Bahumana, good disposition, happy face, and on swearing off, renouncing, all association with the Druj 384 asterisk if life QF Zarathustra. Tai life of Zarathustra 8549.4 Who, through perverted principles, increase fury of rapine, Ishma, and cruelty among the herd prosperers, by their tongues conversation, themselves not being herd prosperers, whose own crimes they do not overcome with good works, these may, yet, establish the divinities of the Devas, through the spirits of the Druists. Li, or, away with them into the dwelling of the Devas. B. 49.5 May zeal and fat food, reward, him 718 Who, in spirit, communes with Bahumana, good disposition, 19 Because he is well informed about Armadi, love, through Asha, justice, 20 I judge all these belong into thy realm, O Mazda, mindful. 21 Il Fasciista is urged Joe become defender. 49.6 O Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, I beg you and Asha, justice, to declare 7 your wisdoms, double, purposes in connection with 23 the proper solution of the problem 24 how to obtain a, ready, hearing for the spirit of one like you 586 the life QF Zarathu HTR and 7e Life CF Zarathustra RHTRSW 8749 *70 Here, Vohumana, good disposition. Here, O Asha, justice. Y26 Hearken thou, O Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord. 27 What peer, what gentleman, whose influence would enforce regulations, will initiate regulations. 28 Whose observance would earn a good reputation for the group of those who labor at herding cattle. 29:49 to 80 I beg of thee, Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, to grant, to Zoroaster the most blissful communion with Asha, justice, 731 and, 2, to me, to attain the good in the Kshatriya realm, while, 3, both of us wish to be thy messengers forever in the age. 33:49.9 Let the prosperer, Ashaist believer, who was shaped, or formed, to profit the world, listen to the teachings. 734 Let not him who, utters or, possesses, the just words have any communion with the Druists. 35 Let the spirits, occupied in search, of the best compensation join together. 3 Let both the man, Zarathustra, and Jamaspa unite with Asha, justice. 37:88 IHE Life QF Zarathustra. TTE Life QF Zarathustra. 89:49 J00 Whereupon, Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, Zarathustra will commit to thy dwelling Y.G, as treasury of merit of the mindful divinity, the memory of, the good thoughts, souls, and adorations. 39 With the zeal and, loving, armady devotions of the Ashaists. 40 All of which, great ruler, Kshatriya, mayest thou guard with enduring energy. B. Doubtful, M. 41 and 49. But, on the other hand, for the evil man, the pompic, souls, carrying, foods, will go to meet 742 F. The bad administration, bad deeds, bad speeches, 43 and bad spirits of the evil-minded Druists. 44, who, will be genuine, worthy and accepted, companions, to the inmates, of the dwelling of the Druj. 45:49 J20 Asha, justice. What sort of help hast thou for me, Zarathustra, who am calling to thee? 46 With Vohumana, good disposition, what help hast thou perhaps for me? 47 O Ahura Mazda, with praises do I sue for thy friendship. 48 Praying for whatever is best among your compensating rewards. 49:90 The Life CF Zarathustra K. 2 Zarathustra is worsted, A and B in despair drive the Marians into open agricultural country. Apparently belonging to the cause of the Fatmir hymn on, Zarathustra's exultation on executing the final judgment. XXXIII In accordance with these laws of the first Hfe 214 the judge will enact, the most just decisions for the Druhist, as well as the Ashaist, 215 and for the man who combines the false and just actions, b, and do whatever may suit the needs of the false and the just, 216 XXXIII But whoever, 1, by speech, word, or deed do harm to the Druhist or, 2, converts one to the good, i.e., either injures or converts, or, 3, mistructs a fellow believer, 218 They, are those who are thereby working for the divine will, and for the pleasure of Ahura Mazda, Lord mindful, in the great work of the preparation. 219 Who is a well-wisher of the Ashaist, whether he be gentleman by birth or a worker, or an expert peer, or is zealous for the cattle. 220 Ahura, Lord, surely he will come to be on the pasturage of Asha, justice, and Vohumana, good disposition. 222 The Life QF Zarathustra and 91:2 Zarathustra is worsted. J added in despair drives the Marians into open agricultural country. 4 Zarathustra is the first Toph J obedience to him gains paradise. 46.9 Who is that faithful believer, who will be the first one? 576 To teach me, by object lesson, to consider thee the most helpful, divinity, and the most bounteous Lord, as, judge over deeds. 78, on the contrary, the believers are, with the aid of Vohumana, good disposition, seeking, to hear, from me. 79 what Asha, justice, uttered to thee, and what the shaper of the cattle uttered to Asha, justice. 80-46, 0, O Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, grant, Kshathra, the power of the coming kingdom, through Vohumana, good disposition, as a compensation to doers of right, namely, 583 whatever any man or woman may contribute or give to Omi, do thou, Lord, reward with. 81 O what, spiritual gifts, thou, Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, knowest to be best for life, or, people. 82 And I will also urge these, rewarded people, to adoration of such as you. 84, when, I precede all of these, rewarded contributors, onto the sifter's bridge of judgment. 85-92 E Life of Zarathustra Prayer for Acceptation. Thirsiel who, by praying, would, Ahura Mazda, Lord mindful, conjure away, 1. Disobedience and badness from, what the opponents think of, the, 223 and, 2. Contrariness from the gentleman, and, 3. The neighborhood of the Druhist from the group of laboring men, 224 and, 4. Cursing from the peer, and, 5. Poor farmers, fodder, from the pasturage of the cattle, 225 Thirsiel 5 I who will invoke Zoroaster, obedience, as the greatest of all, divinities, for help, to man, 226 having reached 1. Long life, 2. The realm of Vohumana, good disposition, 227 and, 3. The Asha, justice, straightened paths, on which Ahura Mazda, Lord mindful, dwells, 228 Thirsiel who, as priest, coming, through Asha, justice, from the best, mind, desire, to walk, the just, paths, of the bounteous mentality. 229 Going, from us, the Ashaists priests, towards the pastures which advisory managers ought to work through the, Vohu, Mana, disposition. 230 O, for these two objects, I wish, Ahura Mazda, Lord mindful, to consult together, both the best, mind, and the bounteous mentality, visibly. 231 Thirsiel O come hither to me you best, divinities, come here personally, O Mazda, mindful, 232 visibly, with Asha, justice, and Vohumana, good disposi tjve life cf Zarathustra 93 through their political power, the Carapans will join the Gathas 586 and destroying the, second, life of men through evil deeds, fools. Whereas, their own souls and spirits shall terrify them. 88 IV and they shall come to the sifter's bridge of judgment /s, fit, companions shall they be admitted to the home of the Druj forever. 94 6J2 hen, through the, help, of Asha, justice, among the vigorous, closer, relatives and, more distant, relatives 591 pf the friendly Turas, there shall arise 92 Yuk as will, with zeal, prosper the substance of Armadi, love, 93 I then shall Ahura Mazda, the mindful Lord, with the aid of Vohumana, good disposition, 94 and the consummation, give support to these, friendly to RAS, 95 46 J3 However satisfies Spitama Zarathustra through prepara untions, for him, 59 among men, he is worthy to be heard of, 97 and besides, he shall be given life, or, people, by, the 12, I mindful Lord, Ahura Mazda, 93, and shall have his substance prospered through Vohumana, good disposition, 99 4, and he shall be considered well befriended with Asha, justice. 694 E Life of Zarathustra *HTRDW inform me how I may be heard before, or outside of, the Magians, and, for this purpose, 233 let reverent services of worship be performed, dearly and manifestly among us. 234. Fake Fof General Conversion XXXIII-O do thou regard, 1. The interests which I am advancing. Through Vohumana, good disposition, 2351 0, 2. The hymn, Mazda, mindful, addressed to, one like you and, 3. My grateful communions with Asha, justice, 236 and give me your twin enduring possessions of Amarita, immortality, and orbited, health. 237 XXXIIL-O but let me Mazda, mindful, bring the, holy, mentality of these two, divine, companions who prosper, the, Ashayist, just, life 238 unto the comfortable dwellings, with me, who have the best manna, best disposition, 239 in thus arousing the support of these two, divinities, whose souls are accompanying each other. 2401 Thirsiel 10 IO distribute, Mazda, from thy delight, all which were and are yet becoming and cause my body to grow as I wish, with the pleasures of life, 242 Vohumana, good disposition, Kshathra, power, and Asha, justice. 243 The life QF Zarathustra. Happy face, L how to form new settlements. 504 Accept thy Asha, justice, or thy Vohumana good, O disposition, Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, 750 Whom may I, with certainty, invoke O to protect my cattle and myself? CQ, D and what help may my soul count? CJ 50.2 O lo, Mazda, mindful, might, a man, seek, posses Zion of, a fortune-bringing cow, 54 F he desire both, I, her and, 2, the pasture? 55 Jai living justly among the many men who appreciate the comforts, or, agricultural benefits, of the sun, 56/Y settling open lands, or, bad lands, as yet belonging to the bad Druhists, to be acquired or, settled down * as a clever man would do, cleverly, or, which may be given as gifts. 57 He text is in a hopeless condition. This interpretation is as faithful 3 possible, yet is partially suggested by the context. It possesses the merit of agreeing with the practical interests of that civilization. 96 E life QF Zarathustra. In *Fayev for paradise *Thirsiel 11, thou, Asha, who art the strongest Ahura of Mazda, lordy of mindful, and Armatai, love, 244 prospering, as if they were earthly substance, Asha, justice, and, Vohumana, good disposition, and Kshathra, power, 245 hear me, pity me, when to every man, shall come, retribution. XXXIII-12 O arise up to me, Ahura Mazda, Lord mindful, grant me, 1, through Armadi, love, vitality 247, 2, through the most bounteous mentality, grant me strength, J, 3, through good Ada, retribution, 2481 and through Asha, justice, grant me, powerful might, 4, and through Vohumana, good disposition, grant, compensation. 249 XXXIII-13 O in order to grant me support, thou wide-glancing, divinity, show me, that, the incomparable, riches, 250 O of thy realm, Ahura, Lord, are, the compensations of Vohumana, good disposition, 2511 O bounteous Armadi, love, instruct the spirits through Asha, justice. 252 J Thirsiel 14 O but, Ahura Mazda, Lord mindful, Zarathustra offers as a oblation his own body, 2, and the first fruits of Vohumana, good disposition, Z, and the Srasha, obedience, and Kshathra, power, of deeds and uttered words, through Asha, justice. 255 TTE Life QF Zarathustra W97 503 O but through Asha, justice, shall, legal right, Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, be, the portion of, this, Pioneer, YG getting possession, of what, settlements, the good, teaching, or teacher, Zarathustra, taught him, to take posses Zion of, with, wit, Vohumana and, good management or power, Shithra, O and who, through the vigor of compensation, by paying an equivalent, may acquire, 60 the nearest estate which the, nomadic, Druhists may, yet, share, for some time. 61 and these settlers are to act as missionaries *52 thereupon, when the wisher, for a recently settled home, stands upon the path leading to the, above mentioned, open, or, bad, lands, then 765 Zarathustra, will hear, these, faithful, home seekers, going, to, their new, dwelling, which, when occupied, will be full, of, grateful, praise 64:0/VNDI, Zarathustra, praising you, Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, with Asha, justice, and the best, disposition, mana, and Shithra, power, 63. Will, for this joyful information about new settlements, worship you. Happy face, 50*5 SU, also, have rejoiced with and for your prophets, joy, 767 O therefore, Mazdayasna, mindful Lord, I have, through Asha, justice, aroused myself, 66D an account of your visible and manifest help, 6898 *RHE Life of Zar and Thursday HTR and E Life QF Zarathustra 99 through hands sought, labor, which restores us, the faithful, to, prosperous, well-being, from the destitution consequent on the furious rapine of the Druhists, 6950.6, I, Zarathustra, I, who, through reverence am the friend of Asha, justice, ye and, 2, who give direction, s, to the settlements through my tongue, 72 I pray, Mazda, mindful, that, the wisher settler, may, also, raise up his speech in a word, as I do, 70 and with, the aid of, Vohumana. Good disposition, may teach the commands of my understanding 7350-70, by thus enlisting missionaries, for you, Mazda, mindful, with Asha, justice, and Vohumana, good disposition, 776 I will yoke on speedy runners, thick-set and strong, 74 with spurs of adoration of you, 75 through which, runners, may you, and your cause, drive on, to progress, and might you aid me, too, last, but not least. 7750.8 with these verses, which are famous as, verses, of zeal, 78 I will, with stretched out hands, encompass you, Mazda, mindful. 779 you also, Asha, justice, with the reverence of the faithful you yet also, all divinities, with the full ability of Vohumana, good disposition, Lu *IHE Life QF Zarathu *HTR and Tai Life QF Zarathustra LOL in. But Zarathustra remains the only Diato *50-90 I will come towards you, Mazda, mindful, and Asha, justice, 782 praising, I, with these hymns, and with the deeds of, good disposition, Vohumana, G and when one my shall rule at will over compensation, 84 then shall I become recipient, thereof, caring for that of the well-disposed, faithful believer. 85-50-10 thus, I, whatever deeds I may have done before, 786 and, 2, whatever, objects, interest the eye through Vohumana, good disposition, still they are as nothing when compared to, 87 the lights, of the sky, the sun, the dawn, the shimmering bowl of days, 88 all these, Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, and Asha, justice, exist for your adoration. 8950.no I will preach that I am your praise singer, Mazda, mindful. 790 Oh and may I be this, Asha, justice, as far as one am able, and can. 9 May the Creator of life, through the help of Bahumana, good disposition, 9 prosper whatever genuine work is most suitable to his will. 93 I02 Life QF Zarathu RHTRD Thai Life QF Zarathu HTRSW 103 L The children of the kingdom *5 JJ Ashe, justice, will procure the goods Kshatra, realm, which is a choice and most productive destiny. 704 For those who, with zeal, through their deeds, practice the best doctrines, OCP, mindful, Mazda. Grant that, I may effect, carry into execution, realize, that, realm, 065 U2 Worst of all, Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, assure me the Kshatra, realm, of compensation, 797 and then thine, Asha, justice. And thine, Armati, love. 98 Through Bahumana, good disposition, O do you grant profit to the worshipper of you. 99 5 J3 O thou, Mazda, mindful, art the first teacher of those who 802 with their deeds, and in their tongue, commune with the utterances of Bahumana, good disposition, O may they attract, the attention of, your ears, O Mazda, mindful Lord, and Asha, justice. 801 Ahura 800 I04, happy face, life QF Zarathu RHTRD Itife life QF Zarathustra 105, well, mayest thou ask all these, following questions. 806 Where are the compensations for griefs? Where may we find pity? 803 Where may, men, attain Asha, justice? Where may a man establish the bounteous Armati, love? For where, may he establish, the best, disposition, mana? O where, Mazda, mindful, may he establish, thy Kshatra, realm? 55 J.5 Where may the pasturer, having become a just man through his deeds, acquire cattle? 806 Will he, succeed in, doing so if, being of good understanding, he reverently prays to 7 Him who is a just judge, ruling over both compensations for the benefit of the clever, believers. 85 U6, the mindful Lord, Ahura Mazda, is he, who, at the last crisis of life, through his, power, Kshatra, distributes, what is better than good to anyone who prepares, the world, for his will. 9 But, what is worse than bad to, everyone, who does not distribute, contributions to Zarathustra, c. 44.19, or, Happy Face, 46.1, 10, 18. I06 The Life QF Zarathu RHTRD Thai Life QF Zarathu HTRDW 107 5 IJ Mazda, mindful, thou who art the, fashioner of the bovine, creation, the waters, and the plants. 812 Through the most, bounteous mentality, spent a menu, grant me amarita, immortality, and orbitat, health, which are few of vitality, and are, through Bahumana, good disposition, enduring in the holy doctrines. 14. Opposition, copyright The prophet is enmity to humanity. 51 to 801 Shall speak for thee, Mazda, mindful, about what, is threatened against the Druhist, and, 2. What is wished for, and promised, to him who maintains Asha, justice. 816, I shall speak thus because it is proper, to speak to the, intelligent man, referred to as the, expert knower. 15, and besides, the prophet, rejoices through the word which is told to the expert knower. 17.5 J.90 And do thou, Mazda, mindful, within, the nature of, both contending parties, set satisfaction, as a token, of the accuracy of my prophecy of the judgment by, 819 The metal, molten through thy red fire, which, as a sifter, shall, 8 Harm the Druhist, but, Prophet the Ashaist. 20 I08 E Life QF Zarathustra E Life GF Zarathu 109 5J.J0 Therefore I am fearless, even those who would kill me here are only bringing me closer to my reward, I vihirace, he who would wish to kill me, not considering this coming event, mindful, Mazda, 821 Re, punishes himself by becoming, malicious towards the creatures that are existent, and thereby becomes, a son of the Druj, and will therefore share their fate, 22 Vihili, even though killed, will, for myself, call Asha, justice, that he may come with a good compensation. Such being the fate of my enemies, I would like to know, O, mindful, Mazda, who is a friend to Spitama Zarathustra. 824 Is it not he, who has consulted with Asha, justice? Who, has produced or sought, bounteous Armadi, love. 25, are who, as a just, supporter, for the Magian cause, showed himself to be considerate of Vohumana, good disposition? 65 UI2 / returning to my enemies, not very much did, kick, that pederast, or, vulgar fellow, of the Kabai tribe ingratiate himself with me 7 Vhen at the bridge, or passage, of, the, earth, a mountain pass, he refused hospitality, I, to Zarathustra Spitama and 2, to both, the oxen, shivering with cold, whom he, Zarathustra, was driving along, all uncertain. 29 Know the life QF Zarathu HTR and Phi he life QF Zarathu Hra 35J.J3 Ihus the spirit of the Druj destroys the genuine, reward, of the straight, path, 830 and his soul trembles at the bridge of the sifting which will make manifest, his deeds, 31, giving access to the other world, and through his deeds, and, through whose evil words of their, tongue, the Druj have perished from the path of Asha, justice. 32 5JJ4, even, the friendly disposed, Carapans do not cultivate their pasture properly by the proper rules 833 they effect, by their deeds and doctrines, griefs for the bovine, creation, 34 which doctrine will at last bring, the Carapans, into the dwelling of the Druj. 35 5JJ5 On the contrary, when, Ahura Mazda, the mindful Lord, shall, as first comer, come into Gurdman, the dwelling of praise. 537, Zarathustra, expect, through, having produced, prophets for Sha, justice, and through Vohumana, good position, 3 the compensation which I taught to the Magians. 36 112 Life QF Zarathu HTR and 3. Vishtaspa assumes leadership of Hero/Star. XXVIII to the utmost my of ability, will I teach men to seek Asha, use Jatis. And this will I do, 12 XXVIIILO with outstretched hands, and by reverent prayer for support, Mazda, mindful, / I will entreat, as the first, blessing, of the Spenta Manu, bountiful mentality, that all, my, actions, may be performed, with, the aid of, Asha, justice, 2, that I may receive, the understanding of Vohumana, good disposition, and that I may thus satisfy the soul of the bovine, creation, Celio, and this do I, who entreat you, Ahura Mazda, Lord mindful. Through Asha, justice, 4 to grant me both lives, that of the body and of the mind, 5 with the felicity with which Mazda, through Asha, supports / those to whom, Mazda, mindful, gives the 2 lives for their comfort, / FTI life QF Zarathu RHTRD33. Vishtaspa assumes leadership of Hero RV * praise for the supporters of his cause * 46J4, would you like to know, who is, one of these, namely, a friendly Ashaist? 60I, 1, who would like to be heard from for the Magian cause along with Zarathustra in the crisis, of political establishment? It is, Kavio Vishtaspa 3, he is, Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, one of those, whom thou wilt, surely, unite, to thyself, in thy same abode, of praise, good man, for them, from among the people, am I inviting with utterances of Vohumana, good disposition, 546.16 Frashayashtra Vagva, go thou with the faithful to 610 where we both desire to be, namely, with those who are beloved 11, where Armadi, love's well-being, follows along with Asha, justice, 12 where are found the treasures of Vohumana, good disposition, 13 and where, the mindful Lord, Ahura Mazda dwells and prospers the Kshatra, kingdom. 14.6. Partisanship with Zarathustra essential to gain paradise. 4645-01 will inform you, clansmen of Hechatespa, and of Spidama, how to sift the clever from the foolish, missing. 7 With these deeds you maintain for yourselves Asha, justice, through the first decrees of, the Lord, Ahura. 9 114 TTE Life QF Zarathustra, and this do I, who will sing hymns to you Ahura Mazda J through Asha, justice, and Vohumana, good disposition, comma. As never before. 7 And, I will, also, sing hymns to, those, faithful believers, for whom Armadi prospers the never-decreasing realm of Kshatra 8 Hither, O you divinities, come, to my support, come to my call. 9xxvii and this do I, who with Vohumana, good disposition, Ami mindful to watch over the soul of the bovine, creation, Loj and who knows, with what, compensations are rewarded the deeds of, the kind inspired by, Ahura Mazda. 11 To the utmost of my ability, will I teach men to seek Asha, justice, 12 Clo Asha, justice. When shall I through thee behold Vohumana, good disposition, as an expert knower, discovering or attaining, among the Magian tribe, I 3 the throne, and, the tribemans, Srasha, obedience, 4, Veg prospering of the cause of, the most powerful, mindful. Mazdayasna, Lord. I with this mystic word, of promise be, I will cause those savages to choose, the cause of, the greatest Mazdayasna, mindful Lord. JJIE Life CF Zarathustra RHTR and 46J703 that in, this, place of trouble, Jamaspah Vagva, 6:15 AM uttering for, all of, you utterances, not of indifferent matters, 616 UT praises of the preparer, Zarathustra himself, who will have stood for you together with Srasha, obedience, /ho shall sift the clever from the fools 18 Hru Asha, justice, his clever advisory manager, O Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord. 19 Alternates for Lin CS 615 to 617, here I shall mention your misfortunes only, so as to arouse Mazda's pity, here I shall sing in metered, not unmetred lines, M46J8 is the sifting conclusion of my understanding, and of my mind, 624A however to me concedes the best our age, affords in the way of recognition or contributions, to him would I by teaching, promise, 20 my he best, treasures, of wealth, with the Vohumana, good disposition, 21 UT I will oppose hate to those who hate us. 22 OKND in doing so, I consider, Mazda, mindful, that I am, through Asha, justice, satisfying your will /23A6A9V however, through the inspiration of Asha, justice, may genuinely cooperate with me, Zarathustra, 625 doing those deeds, which suit my will, 6 these deeds, will earn for him future compensation, 27 LND with all, other, expected, rewards in paradise, a pair of calving cows, on the pasture of Asha, C 33.3, 28 OLND mayest thou, Mazda, mindful, effect these, promises, to those, whom, they, best, suit. 29 II6 Thai Life QF Zaratui *HTR and Svni-O Mazda Ahura, mindful Lord, come with long life of ashes, justice, gifts, with Vohumana, good disposition, one with just utterances, and give, these, to Zarathustra as means of a vigorous support. 11. Then, give these, to us, that we, thereby, may overcome hostilities of the enemy. Ijatziel grant, Asha, justice, this compensation, namely, the felicity of Vohumana, good disposition, is O grant, Armati, love, the wish of Vishtaspa and of myself, to see O thou greatest ruler, grant ready, hearing unto him who prepares with the word. 21 XXVIII-8 For the best do I entreat the Lord Ahura, like-willed with thee the best Manatic position, 2 I and with the best Asha's justice, supplicating Asha, justice, Foi, 1, the hero Zoroaster, and, 2, me, 2 and, 3, for whomsoever thou wouldst grant Asha, justice, foil all the age of Vohumana, good disposition. 2XXVIII-90 We would not vex you by those supplications, Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, nor would we vex, the best mana, gu, disposition, 2 tons because of these, expected, benefactions, rather would we hast to offer praise to. 2. You, who are the best prosperer of human wishes for profit, here below and in, the Shatra realm, to come. 2. Vihi Life QF Zarathustra. 117 supporters of the Prophet are heroes and saints *5u/6 but Kavavish Taspa attained, more than, these, both rewards, together with the rule over the Magian tribe, 839 through Asha, justice, as advisory manager, and through the verses of, good disposition, Vohumana, he attained Kisti, Sophia, or wisdom, 40 Thus, for us, the faithful, is Ahura Mazda, the mindful Lord, bounteous at wish. 41 Frashayastra Vagva has shown, and promised, to me, as wife his daughter's, prized body. 842, now, in order that I may attain, to be, the recipient of Asha, justice, may the ruling Ahura Mazda, mindful Lord, 44 grant, to me, her desired, body, for the benefit of her good spirit, that she may be saved through me as husband, c. 53.3, 143-5 IJ8 Majamaspa Vagva, glorious with riches, choosing this Kisti, Sophia, wisdom, daughter of Zarathustra, whom he marries in Yasna 53, 845 through Asha, justice, also, partake in that Shatra, realm, of, the good disposition, Vohumana. 46 May Ahura Mazda, the mindful Lord, grant to me that they may find support with thee, Ahura Mazda. 47 O May Diomangaspidama. He, Zarathustra, who has given that, prize of verse 18, his daughter Kisti, to this, Jamaspa, 848 who, as having known through his spirit the, first, Hfe, is wishing again the second, 49 II8 Thai Life CF Zarathustra. C8-10 Ahura Mazda, Lord mindful, crown with attainments the desire of such clever, persons, 29 As thou knowest, through Asha, justice, to be both, 1, worthy and, 2, of Vohumana, good disposition, 28, and this I pray because, I know that supplicatory words reach you, and are effective. 30 XXVIII-11 One who am to protect, the worship of, Asha, justice, and Vohumana, good disposition, forever. 31, I beg, thee, Mazdayasna, mindful Lord, to reveal to me, the truth, so that I may, be able, to proclaim. 32 What is the development of the, present, first, dispensation of, life out of thy menu, mentality, as if it was being uttered, through thy mouth. 33 Thai Life QF Zarathustra. 119 says that thou, hast, the better, part, of life, having, practiced, the decrees of, mindful, Mazda through thy deeds. CQ5J20 that, better part which is, a prophet of yours, all, you like-willed four leaders of the four preceding verses 15 to 19, Vishtaspat, Frashaestra, Jamaspat, and Mazdayasna, I repeat, that better part induces you, to give, utterance to, 851 utterances with which Armadi, love, with Vohumana, good disposition, being worshipped with reverence, 52 will grant Asha, justice, as a support of Mazda, mind fi. 53 5J.2J I desire a good compensation, such as, this, to grow bounteous through the influence of Armadi, love, 856 such a person is prospering Asha, justice, with his doctrinal, thought Sophia, wisdom, through his utterances, deeds, and spirit 54, to such a person, will, the mindful Lord, Ahura Mazda through Vohumana, good disposition, grant the Kshatra, realm or power. 55 5J.22 If, the mindful Lord, Mazda Ahura knows among, any of the men, who were, and who, yet, are, living, 858 any persons, to whom because of their hymns the best, reward, from Asha, justice, is, yet, to come, 57 these, men, like the above-mentioned four heroes, even by their names will I worship, publicly and individually, and into their presence will I enter with praise. 59 I20 High Life QF Zarathu RHTR DIT Fe Life QF Zarathu HTR 121 4. Induced by DW Matrimonial Alliance Jamaspa joins the Magian movement L marriage ceremony * 53.1 Rhe best riches that have been heard of are those of Zarathustra, 85 Qjins, the mindful Lord, Ahura Mazda grants to him by Asha, justice, 5 I or all eternity, I, felicities, 2, a good life, and, 3, the conversion of, those who deceived him, 62 and Zarathustra prays that his followers, may learn to formulate correctly the utterances and deeds of the good spirit of religion. 63 53.2 VND May Vishtaspat and, Mazdayasna, the Zarathustrian son of the Spitama family, and Frashaestra, 866 establish the straightly just paths of the spirits for whom, the Lord, Ahura has appointed saviors 67 who strive through utterances and deeds, inspired by Vohu, Mana, good disposition, 64 to utter cheerfully hymns for the adoration of, the mindful, Mazda, in order to give him, satisfaction. 65 533, Purakista, daughter of Heshadispa, 868 Ru youngest of the daughters of Zarathustra, 69 Zarathustra, gives to thee this, Jamaspa as a husband who will, impress, on thee, communion with Vohumana, good disposition, Asha, justice, and Mazda, mindful, 7 Lo take counsel with thy understanding, so that it may become, most bounteous, when it has become full, of well-disposed Armadi, love. 7 122 Fe Life QF Zarathu HTR. Tfe Life GF Zarathu HTR W 123 53.4, the bride speaks. Him will I emulate. The bridegroom speaks. Her, will I choose 872 who shall generously distribute service to father, husband, pastorer, gentleman, atheist and pagan. Why, the bride speaks. The sunlit fruit of, good disposition, Vohumana shall be mine, I shall have a child. 74, the bridegroom speaks. May, the mindful Lord, Ahura Mazda grant it to, thy, good spirit for all eternity. 75 53-5, Zarathustra speaks, smiley face, I utter admonitions to those who are being married, and to maidens 876, that which, I am counseling to you, you should heed, remember, and realize. 77 Striving for the life of, good disposition, Vohumana, 78 Vying with each other in Asha, justice, and spiritual precepts, thus shall you be happy. 7953.6 Thus shall you be genuine men and women, husband and wife. 884, can you discover any advantage in belonging to the party of the Druhists? For what the Druhists desire shall be kept away from their bodies. Ahura Mazda, the mindful Lord, shall present bad food to those who, then shall be, crying woe, and shall withdraw comfort from the law-scorning Druj, to thereby, with these other contrasting actions, you destroy the spiritual life, for yourselves. 3124 *RHE Life CF Zarathustra and T-Fe Life QF Zarathustra RHTRW 125 53J But to you, the newly married pair, shall be, granted, the compensation of the Magian cause 884 in the measure that most hearty zeal, therefore, be rooted in your body. But if you dismiss, abandon, the Magian cause, you shall at the last cry woe. 5 When the spirits of the Druj dodge downwards, and disappear. Y2 * The bridegroom is goaded to conversion by the sword * 53.8 Thereby let all the malefactors be deluded through causes other, than the Magian, 888 Through whose good rulers peace shall be given to the dwellings and villages, 90, On the contrary, let the malefactors through whom are affected, murder and bloody deed, let them all be abandoned, and cry upwards in vain, let the greatest torture attack those captives and let that occur soon. 2. 89 of Destruct 9153.9, Vagabond nomads, shall reach the place of decay with the malefactors who, being law-scorning, and, as to their bodies, doomed, 892 are seeking to degrade the worthy, Magians. 93 Where is the, Ashaist, Lord who will deprive them of freedom and of life, 94, and establish, the, kingdom, Kshatriya, by which, O, mindful, Mazda, thou shalt give, to the poor man, who lives justly, that better, part? 95 MMAETTN Spiritual of Zarathustra, a manual of comparative literature, with outlines for study, and lists of important books * by Kenneth SVK and 6 Utbury, A.M., Harvard J.Ph.D., Tulane, M.D., Medcochitirgalkal, Philadelphia. A fascinating guide to reading for every reader, suitable for literary clubs, institutes, schools, colleges. It forms an unusually liberal education in literature. It gives the spiritual gist of the world's best lyric poetry. It shows where the greatest thinkers agreed or differed. It enables you to form mature literary judgments. It directs your efforts to the most fruitful fields. CBE Racial Otran, Yoshandallar to Tita, Orias Trgals are gathered from Hindu, Persian, Muhammadan, Mongolian, Egyptian, Babylonian, Zoroastrian, Greek, Mexican, Malagasy, Slav, and Icelandic sources. CBE great dens of TBL Oria are studied in their elaborations by Aeschylus, Plato, Kshamisvara, Dante, Calderon, Goethe, Shelley, Quinet Tennyson, Longfellow, Hardy, Moody, and others. CBC great, World Dramas of Salvation by Keys, Augustine, Spencer, Bunyan, Byron, Ibsen, Hugo, Tolstoy, Krasinski, Madoc, Wilbrandt and Campoamor and others are explained in simple words. Recommended by Vice-Chancellor Hall, of Sewanee. Dr. Matthew Woods, of Philadelphia, writes of it, I have carefully gone over the manuscript of Dr. Guthrie's exceedingly interesting book, and have found in it, combined with much original thought, the learning of a studious life. It cannot fail to make a profound impression. Netprick J 350 pages, cloth bound, post-paid, $1.60. Each copy is inscribed by the author. To get a copy, write name and address on this sheet, tear it off, and forward it with the money to him. CMPMMTCBE Literature PRC Brooklyn, NY, 182 Monroe Street. London, Henderson's, 66 Charing Cross Road. Nuitianius of J. L. Patni of B. Fatber of Neoplatonui, Olarars in Sext Anna translation, Poundifa Anna C. Spengi by Kenneth Sylvan Gutbree, A.M., Harvard, Ph.D. Tulane, M.D., Medco Chirurgical, Philadelphia. For the first time in any modern language, the writer here resurrects Num Neus from the oblivion of 1,700 years, in a definitive edition, for the sake of which he visited the Escorial Library in Spain, to rescue a supposed work of Num Neus, which turned out to be already published among the works of Plotinus. Besides adding to the fragments, he gives a complete translation, and explains Numenius's great importance under the following heads. 1. How was Num Neus the father of Neoplatonism? 2. His life, and significance as philosopher, poet, humorist, man of the world, and revealer of mysteries. 3. His teachings about matter. 4. The world as a divine harmony. 5. The supreme divinity. 6. The subordinate divinity. 7. The world divinities. 8. Theology. 9. Psychology and ethics. 10. Purpose of life, the threefold salvation. 1. Mysticism, true and false. A German edition is published by B.G. Teubner. Leipzig. An English edition will appear in the Bonn Library, of Messrs. G.W. Bell vs. Sons, London. Ask information of De Comparat Literature PRM, 182 Monroe Street, Beoakland, New York. Plotino $by Times and Lbilasop by Kenneth Sihon Guthrie, A.M., Harvard, Ph.D. Tulane. This is a lucid, scholarly systematization of the views of Plotinus, giving translation of important and useful passages. It is preceded by a careful indication and exposition of his formative influences, and a full biography dealing with his supposed obligations to Christianity. Accurate references are given for every statement and quotation. The exposition of, and references on Hermetic philosophy are by themselves worth the price of the book. Dr. Harris, U.S. Commissioner of Education, has written about it in the highest terms. Dr. Paul Kams, editor of the Open Court, devoted half a page of the July 1, 897 issue to an appreciative and commendatory review of it. Among the many other strong commendations of the work are the following, from Gr.S. Mead, editor The Theosophical Review, London. It may be stated, on the basis of a fairly wide knowledge of the subject, that the summary of our anonymous author is the clearest and most intelligent which has as yet appeared. The writer bases himself upon the original text, and his happy phrasing of Platonic terms and his deep sympathy with Platonic thought proclaim the presence of a capable translator of Plotinus amongst us. To make so lucid and capable a compendium with the works of so great a giant of philosophy as Plotinus, the author must have spent much time in analyzing the text and satisfying himself as to the meaning of many obscure passages. To test his absolute accuracy would require the verification of every reference among the hundreds given in the tables at the end of the pamphlet, and we have only had time to verify one or two of the more striking. These are as accurate as anything in a digest can rightly be expected to be. In addition to the detailed chapters on the 7 lilmi of the Platonic philosophy, on reincarnation, ethics, and aesthetics, we have introductory chapters on Platonism, Aristotelianism, Stoicism, and Emanationism, and on the relationship of Plotinus to Christianity and paganism. Those who desire to enter into the Platonian precinct of the Temple of Greek cannot better philosophy by the most expeditious path do than take this the little pamphlet for their guide edge. It is of course not perfect, but it is undeniably the best which has yet appeared. Have recommended the TPS to procure a supply of this pamphlet, for to our Platonic friends and colleagues we say not only you should, but you must read it. Human Brotherhood, Nov. 1897, in a very extended and most commendatory review, says, too great praise could hardly be bestowed upon this scholarly contribution to Platonic literature. Net price, cloth bound, post paid, $1.31. CFTE Comparatio Ikarai Press, Brooklyn, 182 Monroe Street. London, Lozak & Co., 46 GT Russ UST, WCFT image of POLO 3 ad $, bike net SVLWNU, AM, Harvard, PhD, Tulane, M.D, medico-chirurgical, FLA** next to Plato. Judaeus is the author whose discursive and incidental manner of treating the deep truths of life makes the modern searcher after facts, who has no time to waste, most despair. Here however Philo's teachings are so thoroughly systematized that a single glance will explain to even the casual reader just what and where Philo speaks of his life and works: allegoric interpretation and mysteries, God, our world, human psychology and ethics, church and sacraments, the Eucharist, spirit and inspiration, eschatology, salvation. Who were the therapeutes? Philo-Judaeus is important because he is the fountainhead not only of Neoplatonism, but also of that Greco-Egyptian theology which gradually conquered the civilized worlds and which cannot be understood without him. Congratulations on your splendid analysis of Philo. Albert J. Edmonds, author of Buddhist and Christian Gospels, highly recommended by Professor Nathaniel Schmidt, 0/Cornell University. I have recently gone through with some care the message of Philo Judaeus which you were good enough to send me. It seems to me that you have rendered a real service to many. This classified outline of Philo's utterances on important subjects. The chapter on the therapeutes also appears to me very useful. The idea suggested on p. 86 that Philo's therapeutes may be a sort of utopia, like Plato's Republic, is well worth considered. Net price, cloth-bound, postpaid, $1.31 CBE. Comparative Literature Press, Boecklin, 182 Monroe Street, London, Lozak & Co., 46 GT Cusse UST, WM Greek T \WM%. Progress, generally known as E-Picture, by Kebes, a disciple of Socrates, and the friend of Plato. This book is one of the few treasures of antiquity which has not grown old. Without the cutting out of a single passage, it can be read with pleasure and profit at the present day. It is short enough to be read at a single sitting. It sets forth in picturesque imagery and scientific ideals the progress and ascent of the soul. The human soul, passing through the gate of life, must, under the guidance of scientific recognition, avoid the mazes of the wrong uses of the sciences. By acquiring virtues, it climbs the mountain of true culture to the temple of happiness, whence it returns to guide upward souls still below. Its divisions are the gate of life, and its delusions. 2. The road upwards to happiness. 3. Those who fail, and y*4. The value of science. V. What is good and evil? The book might be called a panorama of modern scientific ideals of life. Renat Feet Sylvan Guthrie has turned it into English and drawn the explanatory illustrations. It is printed and ornamented in a symbolic style suitable to the text. Handsomely bound, postage paid, net, 79 CTS CBE num TMMXT Press, Brooklyn, 182 Monroe Street, London, Lozak & Co., 46 GT Russ UST, WM. Of Eontinyan MTH by Kenneth Sylvan Guthrie, AM, Harvard, PhD, Tulane. In 4 books, of love, of the presence of God, of adoration, of peace. It was the aim of the author to write a book of devotion, freed from the mystic incoherence of the Theologia Germanica, and from the repulsive bloody dogmatism of other books that have frightened so many souls away from personal communion with God by identifying in their minds devotion with the immorities of sectariousness and superstitious fanaticism. How far this attempt has succeeded the following words tell: the literary world is not unworthy to be laid alongside of gold dust and the imitation as food for the soul in its most sacred hours. Mr. Are these meditations all your own, Guthrie, or are they translations or adaptations? Not very long ago, in speaking what were intended to be words of high commendation for a little devotional work, we used language which has been erroneously and unfortunately interpreted as implying a doubt of its originality. Perhaps our language was open to that interpretation, though in comparing the book with gold dust and the imitation, and asking the author in a tone of friendly familiarity whether his meditations were his own, or the adaptations or translations of another's, we meant not disparagement, but compliment, and to signify our sense of the unusual merit of his pages. We wish now to make the expression of that sense plain and unequivocal, and to say in so many words what we aimed to say then by implication, that the book, though small and easily to be overlooked, is one of the striking and remarkable books of its class, the like of which seldom appears, and that Mr. Guthrie is its true author. Dr. Meal, ed. Elevenir, I have read it with as much interest as edification and cannot but congratulate you for having thought, felt, and written it. All the characteristics of the truly Christian life are there presented in an attractive and impressive manner. Though short, it is complete. The Spirit of Christ breathes throughout all its lines. It should become the vade-mecum of every Christian. The Living Church, valuable little book to promote devout meditation. Southern Churchman, very good, with wise and excellent thought. Bishop Gaylor, of Tennessee, is admirable. I like it very much, and believe it will be helpful to all devout people. The Congregationalist, it expresses tender spiritual sensitiveness. It will be found helpful by many, and is prettily printed. Net price, cloth bound, postpaid, 78 cents. CBE Codiparative Deratemari Press, Brooklyn, 182 Monroe Street. London, Luzak & Co., 46 GT UST, W. Draper, Guide for A, Copyright Uyat Bap, for Rightbait Jamatiation, 43 NS, Truction of Tfa 9 Aung. By the Reverend Dr. Inn Etfiplafon, Yudage redating the frequent delivery of this inspiring address in various parts of the country. It has achieved almost classic directness, clearness, and force. Here follows the outline, introduction explanation, from natural analogies, of the nature of prayer, showing why it is an unsuspected and inalienable resource. Roof of 3 Raper from the Bible, from the best modern writers, from science, and from the successful working of a great contemporaneous institution which takes pains to limit its income to the results of secret prayer. J. Flato J. by in our Drapers, which explain why many prayers remain unanswered. Each is vividly illustrated from the best sources. 0 Hitchiam to Draper, answered tersely and convincingly, ending with suggestions for utilization of the aroused emotions. I cannot tell you now how much I enjoyed, nor how much I was impressed and moved by your sermon. It rose at times to heights of true eloquence and rare beauty. No man since Talmud has moved me as you did last Ht, and I told Mrs. Close that you had much of the power or that marvelous orator, and far more learnings. Dr. Stuart Close, Brooklyn. Net price, post free, 12 cents, $1.10 a dozen, per 100, $5.50, delivered. WT Comparativi Literaturicif, 182 I1 Street Privilton. Epitome of R. Kenneth Sylvan Guthrie's Th. Spiritual Messake of LLTE %CATURE. The necessity of comparing literature's comparison is the root of all learning, gestion, insight, and improvement. L. E. Writer, though all his life he had studied music, for the first time he understood how to criticize music. WHPN. At a Sermansengerfest in Philadelphia, he heard the same song sung successively a dozen different male choruses. He knows only one language, does not understand language as such. All our child evils survive simply for lack of open social interrelations. The Salva, an army has established bureaus for consultation with intending suicides. No misfortune is really so great that does admit of relief, if we could only get to touch with well-intentioned holders respurses. Thought itself is a social oduct, and over-individuality is only a light name for insanity, provincialism, stinacy, and stupidity. Solitary confinement is the supreme punishment. If then unification is the supreme good, that stands in its way is of evil, merely, ignorance or personalities. Separate languages are inevitable. Each has its own bouquet and contributes an irreplaceable element to spirituality. Evil is not preference for one's own language, but ignorance of others. Then the significance of even our own caricature, therefore, we must discover its life function in the universal organism. We only realized it. Our best thoughts the efflorescence of civilizations we aufrifadimque tunud theoitrich dedius were deceited sia tunlad nil to wagmionian rultios wu, sihioic tunhud muronal gaies estals of our own life a note destiny. How quickly we in the hymn of would run away from a man who would be eternally untohtimus nogpi paiertlti darn basischen lagilk pole redar dps vetesrani nag. Missium guilty and, attack as a dominant, or triumph as a tonic. The differing colors, gathered, form white light, something sublimer than any of them. With all the strings of the harpist can improvise heart-moving symphonic achievement. Our modern literature, unanalyzed, is a personal pastime, appreciated in the light of its origins. It is the latest revelations of the evolving divinity. The TIVO kinds of L1TE% / resources running through every human life are the twin relations of individual and the group to which he belongs. So we have the pupil and the class, the priest and the church, the toiler and the trade. Their ideas are not always identical. There is often friction, in ancient times called heresy, nowadays it is disharmony. Therefore, if we are to listen to the different voices of literature, we shall have to listen both to racial and to individual solutions of the problems of deity. In the past, of course, the racial element was the most noticeable, in modern times, the individual, and yet it could easily be and demonstrated that neither could exist without the other, any more than the flower without the root, or even the root without the flower. Indeed, what we are pleased to call the more original individual messages consist really of hybridization of racial characteristics, like Matthew Arnold, who brought to the English language French pellucidity, and charm. Originality, indeed, is only grasp of better sources. What Macrobius did to Virgil, what higher critic has done to the Pentateuch, could be done to every great writer, who, indeed is great chiefly because he was so receptive to the influences and sources of his times that he adequately represents them. Goethe frankly acknowledged pillaging, but what a pillaging it was. And if Goethe had not studied sufficient foreign literatures he would not have had anything hijeo of jeepkin lyle to anazg teb.yoyo toyo hauer warn mitzo returuachio batir.oipenga.itsenc ltwhtt.vir smafound warer liral comparative must it be. The more individual you wish to become, more sanely must you discriminate the streams of racial inspiration, and the more judicious must be your combination thereof. Ivy cat is lit pound radu %pound. Before beginning our search for the messages of races and of individuals, we must ask ourselves, what is literature? This has been defined as memorability, for which there may be many individual causes, none alone being sufficient to measure up to, or secure immorality. For instance, felicity of diction, importance of message, emotion, and first of all, boetai. Hear sometimes of the religion of literature, and the literature of religion ion, but after all, literature is religion of the right kind, and religion of the right kind is the right kind of literature. These miserable divisions between religion ion, literature, science, poetry, and art are only fetishes for the short-sighted, of course very useful to calculate with, especially useful in heresy trials, but who would care to be a Turk maid? Besides, they are useful to earn salaries, to raise meetings to hysteric generosity, to sell books, or even to make armies kill each other with, but to satisfy each soul's desire for truth, justice, humanity, wisdom, no. The larger truth, the higher truth, these are irreducible margins, which presentiment tells us are the basis we of universal brotherhood. Are all longing for a single, all comprehendin, hian, where all those distinctions will be transformed into the many-sided service of the supreme life. Wagner's opera, a union of music, poetry, and action adumbrated this yearning for unification. Someday there will be a United States of Europe, and later an intercontinental cooperation foreshadowed by the postal system, and the Hague Palace of Peace. So if we prefer to use a new term to indicate the unity of all these various terms, we may, as most convenient, fix on the term prophecy, to represent the gist or significance, or spiritual message of A equals, duration, of which we are especially to study the literary expressions. The racial essags. The message of the Hindus is manifold. In common with many undisciplined people, many of their literary expressions represent a quality of which the best interpretation is generosity. The political states support whole classes of religious devotees. It is the land of classic friendships. Here the widow burns herself on her husband's pyre, and wives seek out additional wives for their husband's readiness to forgive, as shown by Rama, is not far removed from this. More a desert, spiritual culture and deification are in addition higher developments thereof. Compassion is the chief history. DGMA of Buddhism. The northern brand of their race, the Persians, express it more intellectual aspect by fidelity, truth-telling, and marital faithfulness. Arabians express its more militant aspect in their Mohammedan resignation to the will of God. When we turn to the Chino-Japanese world, we find an entirely different category of religious conceptions. The Chin SA teach us moderation, duty, and righteousness, and character, as well as fidelity to the family as the social unit. That Japanese owed their superiority to Chinese because of their imitative enia, for all that is great in their civilization is originally Chinese. But what matter, that to us? As long as they artistically, gracefully, and charmingly selected best. In Japan first did art become self-conscious, for all they are is owed to the way in which they spoiled the Chins. The Semitic world is an entirely different group. The Egyptians were obsessed by the idea of judgment, as shown in their Book of the Dead, which represent the soul going towards sunset, passing through judgment, and thereafter being manifested to light with the sunrise in another world. In other words, they taught the world immortality. What is represented to us by the word intellectual culture appears for the first time among the Assyrio-Babylonians. W.H. wrote myths about creation, and taught what we might best call communio with the divinity, such as we find later in the Hebrew Psalms. Although Zoroastrians in a certain sense belong to the Hindu group, yet their political establishment in this valley, and consequent influence on Hebrews when in captivity, forces us to class them here, for the last gift to the world of this wonderful valley of the Euphrates were the Zoroastrian conceptions of purity, an angeli hierarchy, a future savior, a millennium of restoration, and the divine fire. The Greeks' world's influence upon world has not, in the past, been overrated. The general state of ignorance of other civilizations has caused it to eclipse our debts to other races and civilizations. We must however give this Greek civilization its due place in our spiritual inheritance. From Greece came the conception heroic magnanimity, social success, and the healthy objectivity so well represented in their Bible. The poetry of Homer, fit, but not least, was their worship of Gisic beauty. Surviving aborigines such as the Narakan Indians, we can trace the poetic Russian for love of flowers, and genial oneness the northern sources. From Iceland, Vrue, and adjacent countries we may see the bardic ideals, and the expraise, of manliness, something which could come from any of the southern civilizations, among whom slavery was an institution. Semi-racial voices. I having thus mentioned the chief racial attributions to our spiritual heritage, and may now turn to the semi-racial ones which come to us in the shape of legends. CSE are not racial, for many of them kitter around the globe in the supremely disregard of frontiers and nationality, appear as epics, and in later days L5 moss or poems by great authors, who see ever to interpret them spiritually. He Legend of Job, as it appears in the 3 enforces moral trial, disinterested FK, confidence in the inner light, and diffic humility, or trust in God. Thai Hindu Harits Chandra legend teach, he sacredness of a promise, duty as a ng precedence of love, and magnanimity or generosity. Thai Greek Prometheus legend teaches contradiction between mind and pasty, the supremacy of the rational over irrational nature, the avoidance of I by intelligent mechanical contrivithias, and the divinity of man as connected with dogmatic heavens and hells. JL Lay's continuation thereof teaches H lesson of pain, which is forgiveness, H search of the intellect after truth, H destruction of the tyranny of custom, I the attainment of a moral character. Ato's Republic teaches scientific government, as against the practical corruption of brute force, or, science versus OMINTE's Divine Comedy sets forth moral Ujjera as salvation. ID. Ron's prodigious magician shows H the failure of every other natural niot of progress proves the veridicity FRE Christian religion. V.E. Faust legend, in Goethe's hand, Ege's divine discontent. E. Golden T. Begrand. Popularized by C. Fellow, sets 4 plus tr beauty of self-effice, but also the duty to refuse it. E. Holy Grail legends teach a quest f the divine on earth, and that with you purity none may find it. Te Wandering Jew legends, as expressed by Quinet, teach that threephone ot life is to produce culture descendants. For arpato liae orndai us nelcog and syncdiaeus rudi siri ersliest sotfhyan with the herctohexam mes are but the deceived puppets. Moody's Mask of Judgment serves up, in modern form, the old millennial world crisis, good while in the form that passion is controlled, but that its evil lies in its moments of rebellion. Wilbrandt's Master of Palmyra expresses in modern form the universal idea of reincarnation, and its possible explanation of the injustices of life, and the ultimate achievement of perfect moral character. Flaubert, in his Temptation of Saint Anthony, adapted that age-long legend to portray the moral progress of a soul through physical needs, sectarianism, philosophy, national ideals, and pantheism, to scientific research as the herald of a new age. In Pividucal voices those who have attempted to invent the scaffolding on which to drape their characteristic message were able to accomplish far more purposive results, but, of course, their creations suffered in picturesque objectivity, which, after all, is the basis of literary immortality. Among them, we may listen to Cebes, the disciple of Socrates, when he paints a Greek pilgrim's progress, in his picture teaching intellectual culture, virtue, happiness, and sobriety. Bunyan, following in his footsteps, adapted to it the Christian religion, and its practical life. Saint Augustine, when he dreams of the cosmic progress of a newer civilization. Spencer, when he objectifies for us the beauty of the virtues of holiness. Byron, when in Manfred, he exhibits the dangers of failure in moral matters, even after the substantial victory is won. Krasinski, in his Infernal Comedy, shows that poetic humanitarian dreams lead only to bloody revolutions, to misfortunes of those we love, and to blindness of one's own powers. Democracy is disgusting, aristocracy is effete and treacherous. Nothing remains but the Christian religion. Maddox's Tragedy of Humanity illustrates the tendency of religious obscurantism to ruin knowledge and culture, the suicidal results of blind credulity. Ibn. In pointing out the inevitable suicidal result of over-logical consecration to unearthly ideals, such as those of Brand. Victor Hugo, who, in his Dieu, symbolizes the stages of mind of man, and shows that only under rationalism, the proper use of reason, can man be fully himself. Tolstoy, who in his Power of Darkness illustrates the power of guilt to condemn man to greater guilt, and that the only way out is open confession. Campoamor, in his Universal Drama, illustrates the tortuous agony of expiation of crime, that guilt clings to us in unimagined conditions until transformed into moral achievement. Consensus of P% OHETS. We have just studied the messages of those poets who took the trouble to incarnate their intentions into coherent, and dramatic works of art. But the first step of prophecy is mere bardism, or troubadour effusions, or lyric poetry. So manifold, so disconnected, so transitory are these, that few if any have suspected that they could ever have a consistent significance. Still, this could be guessed from the fact that lyric effusions are after all judged by universal standards such as beauty, emotional power, imaginativeness, sincerity, and the like. May therefore assume that it may be possible so at time, as indeed is done in the standard anthologies, to classify and systematize the lyric poetry of the world, and ultimately come to some definite significance thereof. It is admitted that its bulk, its continual accessions, its fluctuating standards of criticism, will ever make a final conclusion merely provisional, and valid only for the seeker himself, but nevertheless every intelligent man will make his own deductions, according to his lights, and to the extent of his erudition. In Dr. Guthrie's spiritual message of Li-Iteratire**, such an inspirational quest is conducted, with the following result: the basic lyric aspirations consists of consecration of self to some object or another. Passion is attractive primarily for its keen appreciation of beauty. But Nain inevitably arises, and teaches its lesson of law-obedience. This constitutes a rational control of the passions, a rationalization of life, eventuating in nurity of heart. This leads to impartial love, whose education results in cosmopolitanism. Idolatry is a halfway station on the way to devotion to the divine. We have now arrived pt consideration of our human potentialities, which might be summarized by the single word conservation. Constructivism, instead of destructivism, it at the root of this, in religious dialect, edification. This leads necessarily to discipline, which can be effected only by labor. Thus is developed chai actor, which is best shown by responsibility. Only watchfulness to avoid failure permits us to achieve our ideals. Having thus created the individual, % are ready to examine the contents of HJ ideals, which might be termed a hypantheism, or, in a single word, a meant. God then is universally recognized as being immanent in the world, the next higher view is his immanent in the self. This is practically objected by the ancient maxim, no th self. This really constitutes our divine destiny, which, when carried out achieved, appears as self-dependent, but if we are evolving, it is evident divine discontent is the ultimate revulsion of the divinity, for even the divinity must still be progressing, or he will not be perfect. One element of whi conception must surely be progress. While this is the true basis of Li poetry has loved to clothe it in a religio-mysticism, whose gateway was initiatic. This tells us in poetic words that to root of all gross polytheism really was sense of the human progress Tao or divinity, whose highest definition ever been some sort of love, which well be associated with wisdom. The unity of both applied to our problems, is religious demonstrations of soul progress, namely, salvation. This is the spiritual message of universal literature, and, in his book of TTL title, Dr. Kenneth Guthrie has attempted to give the quotations justifying it, presenting sufficient of the details of underlying dramas, legends, and rock contributions thereto to enable the GI era reader to gain a very substantive appreciation thereof. It contains quotatio from, and accounts of many literal works generally unknown, but which, the future, will be better known on CI side of the Atlantic. // It also contains precise informity about all the great epics of the WN lists of books for systematic reading in literature and religion. The price of this wonderful book only $2. Ridiculously low clubbing A quantity rates may be secured by OJ respondents with the publishers. 1 Platonist Press, G 1177, Warburton Avenue, Yonkers, NFL Dispersal Sale OT. The works of Kenneth Sylvan Lawnful Guthrie AM, Harvard and Sewanee, Ph.D., Tulane and Columbia, Pennsylvania, Ye.D, /N6/2LN220 / you can secure single copies at very low clubbing and on correspondence direct to publishers. These attractive books are positively within your me. Those who desire cloth-bound copies can get them sonably. Book dealers may purchase the edition remainder. Binding and postage prices. Lots of 100 at low quantity rates. Act at once to avoid disappointment. None avail after these editions are closed out. Platonist Press, 1177, Warburton Avenue, Yonkers, K.A. Romance of 2 Centuries, 400 pages, 2nd edition, $a thrilling novel of the day after tomorrow, picturing how education, standardization, geographization and cooperation will fuse the human race, with Conc Lucier pointing to how its foresights are already being realized. The hymns of Zoroaster, the Gathas, in English, This is not merely a translation, but an epical discovery that the Tuyasna sequentions are not a chaotic sequence, but parallel biographies, one personal, and priestly. These are printed on opposite pages, with the traditional picture Oi Zoroaster. The Hymns of Zoroaster. Complete Handbook English, with text, translated, with dictionary and grammar, outlines, and explanation of Zoroaster's significance. Adapted for class use, and libraries. Cloth J-bound copies, at $3. Plotinus. Complete works, picture, 1 vol a few 4 vol. Sets, with picture and introduction, available at $12. Some Damagic copies cheap. All cloth bound. The Philosophy of Plotinus. Light, Times, Works The Spiritual Message of Literature // The earliest and still completest handbook of comparative literature. A fascinating guide to reading, suitable for clubs, church meetings, women's societies, schools and colleges. It is a liberal education in a nutshell, 350 pp. An eloquent summary available at 10 cents. *T The Reuniting Pilgrimage. A biblical romance. It is a continuation of the Book of Acts. On her deathbed, Mary, the mother of Jesus, recounts to the apostles gathered around her, the by Jesus undeclared mysteries of the kingdom, which transform this world into a schoolhouse. Pythagoras. Sourcebook and library. Since that fateful night, 2,000 years ago, when the convention of his pupils was destroyed in a fire in Crotona, till this work never had the Pythagorean writings beat gathered. With a picture and map. Cloth-bound copies $3. Proclus. Master Key addition to his rare works $1. It contains a rare picture of him. A still unacknowledged member of the supreme sages of the world, fortunate enough to rank with Goethe and Leonardo da Vinci. Cloth-bound copies at $3. The Pagan Bible, or the Greek Sources of Angels. Philo-Judais's Message. A referenced outline. Mithraic Mysteries. Restored and modernized. Short stories for young folk. Illustrated, and arranged as a systematic course in ethics, usable in assembly and a rivet instruction, followed by the Greek Pilgrim's Progress, Kibes * Pictura, with illustrations. Temple gates ajar and open. $3 each, or $5,00 for a complete condensed reprint of Dr. Guthrie's chief original religious works, including a series of 14 playlets, illustrating the steps of initiation, rituals, and distinctions. This contains the gist of Dr. Guthrie's life mission. MII Lil Reem JJLJI /Y970027077294 date do RTTT, TKFM 15J22L _ FGI C7NNP, 4, WIVJL24MLFL4% RSUV1 * Jan 2I2FL, 3HDV4RI, I * V11199/FEI 8203/IPRMJ, 9TRIJOM 99661. NQ1199S /R18 2003 APR, AM, August 7, 9990 AMR 415 OSSMV OJENF/NIR 2545 T7400 PC 118 WMULMLJSTTJBRT 19 TL, TI, YNN? MOVI 6